Good afternoon and welcome back to Latimer Park for this Build-Base FA Trophy first qualifying round. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Stourbridge, the Glass Boys, and you were able to see this game on our highlights and hear it live here on Poppies TV. Well, joining me first of all is Peter Short, and we'll be speaking to you in a few moments. We'll be interviewing one of the managerial team and players after the game, and hopefully that'll be a win for Kettering. Well, last Saturday we bowed out of the FA Cup. Peter and I were both there, as did Stourbridge, 3-1 at Guiseley. It was 2-0 at Aldershot, Peter. Brave performance by the lads. It's heard a lot of plaudits from Aldershot and their fans. A couple of decisions have cost us the game, and on another day and another ref. You never know. You
don't know. It was really nice actually leaving the ground, and a lot of the Aldershot fans, players, spectators were very amicable towards Kettering, and they knew they had a really good game on their hands. As you say, two decisions really which changed the game. The penalty decision, we've all seen the photo now. I think the video highlights have been on as well. You couldn't have actually had a more blatant penalty than we've had all season so far, really. It could have been a case of Rhys Honus crying wolf one too many times, maybe. I'm not sure, but certainly any stronger ref, any other ref would have given that 1-1. Goalkeeper may not have even been on the pitch there, potentially. It's a different game, isn't it? We'd been playing on Tuesday nights.
Marcus Law mentioned in his interview after the game that a penalty is a penalty. Also, there was the slaying of Andre Borg right in front of us as well on another day. That could have been down to 10 men. Absolutely. It didn't really go for Kettering decision-wise, but it was a good performance nonetheless.
It was. There was a lot of heart there, and as Kettering got further into the game and Aldershot got tenser and tenser, it was Kettering certainly looking for that equaliser, potentially even a winner. It was great to see Aaron O'Connor back on the pitch as well. He had an effort which had to be tipped round the post. Rhys Honus could have made a cracking start within the first 75 seconds of the game. You know, they matched their conference rivals blow for blow, really. And let's remember, this was the FA Cup. It was a great day out. The bread and butter is about the league now. And if Kettering can be there in the next couple of years, then, well, they've put that performance in. Now they need to do it in the leagues.
Well, today is another cup game. It's the FA Trophy. This is a chance to get to Wembley. We've been there twice before. We've not done too well in recent years in the FA Trophy, and today is a very tough game against a very strong team, Stourbridge, the Glass Boys, as we say. We've met them in the FA Trophy in 1969-70. The Poppies prevailed on that occasion in a replay 2-1 at Rockingham Road after the game ended 1-1 away. And they are managed by Gary Hackett, and they're up to third place in the league that we're in, the Evo Stick Central Premier. Mm-hmm. And they've had only one defeat this season in the league, a 6-4 against Coldwell Town of all games.
I recall that game, actually. About Gary Hackett, though, I mentioned to you before the show that he's a long stay at Stourbridge. He's been there for nearly a decade now, I believe. And it's just nice to see that a team has pulled the faith into their manager, and he's obviously taken him to a very good place at the moment.
We'll come back to the Glass Boys at the moment. They did have, though, a fantastic game against Guiseley, losing 3-1. But one of the things that stood out for me, and also on social media, there was a Stourbridge tweet that went viral last Saturday. And I will quote this. It says, 65 minutes, chance for Stourbridge. Thompson Brown shoots wife from 20 yards, 1-1. So, unfortunately, the wife. Unlucky mention.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time, and wrong game. As I say, we'll review the Kettering Town lineup now. It reads like this: in goal for Kettering is Paul White. Number 3 is Ben Toseland. 4, Brett Sulkanen. 9, Edmund Hotter, or Esty Hotter. 10 is Ben Mills. 11, Rhys Honus. 12, Dion Kelly-Evans. 15, Declan Towers. 16, Luke Graham. 17, Andre Borg. And 18, Nathaniel Rowe-Turner. And your subs this afternoon are 6, Michael Richins. 7, Lyndon Meikle. 8, Aaron O'Connor. 14, Marcus Kelly. And goalkeeper Lewis Elsom. 4 changes then, Peter, to last Saturday.
Yes, and not of a particularly weak side there still. It's great to see Hotter actually get a full start today, see if he can actually produce something. We've not really played around that striker for the whole season, really, so it'd be great to see if he can come up with the goods there. Rhys Honus has energy to burn. You know, he would be more than within his rights to ask for a day off today. Certainly, the amount he's been running around, but no, he wants to play today, win every game today. Great to see Luke Graham get another start today. Him and Brett Sulcombe pairing up together for the first time, I believe, since Luke Graham's joined. Well, certainly there's some serious minutes there. And the defence there is as strong as ever. So Stourbridge are going to have a really tough game. It's going to be lovely to see actually what they're going to produce, who takes this more seriously. I think we're all in agreement, though. No draw today, please.
No draw today, and the weather certainly gives us that impression. It's bitterly cold out there. We've had sleet, we've had hail at Latimer Park, we've had sunshine as well. At the moment, I'm looking out the window, it's rather grey and depressing, but hopefully the game won't be. Stourbridge line up like this. In goal is James Wren. Number 2 is Aaron Hayden. 3, Jordan Brown. 4, Paul Mycarn. 5 is Arish Christopherson. 6 is Aaron Ford. 7, Darrell Westlake. 8, Leon Broadhurst. 9, Luke Benbow. 10, Robbie Thompson-Brown. And 11 is Cayman Anderson. 12, the substitute is Greg Mills. 13, Niall Mayer. 14, Brad Birch. 15, Checken Steele. And 16, Stuart Pearpoint. Your referee today is Leslie Sinclair. And the assistants are Bradley Tonks and Alex Harris. So there we are. To say the Glass Boys in very, very good form in recent weeks. They've beaten Bedworth United 4-1 at home. They beat Royston Town, who are in second place at the moment, 2-1. They've beaten Needham Market 3-1, drawn away at Alvechurch 0-0, and at St Ives 0-0, surprising there. They beat Kings Lynn away 1-0. They drew with Halesone at home 1-1. That fantastic 10-goal thriller at Colville 6-4. They beat Stratford Town 3-0 on the opening game of the season. They drew 1-1 with Stourbridge, with even Barwell.
Yes.
So,
cracking game that would have been.
Cracking game, yeah, but they certainly are a side in form, and the last time we played them came in the 2012-13 season, a 1-0 defeat at Steel Park and a 0-0 draw away. The last time we met them since then, of course, was in 1975-76 in the Southern League Premier season. And that was the last time we actually scored against them, which was Mike Wardrop and Mick Goodall.
Of course.
2-0
we all knew that, though. You're
victory.
just reminding us all of that great day.
Well, there we are, yes. It's we haven't played many times against the Glass Boys, and it's surprising as they're so close to us.
Absolutely. I think geographically they're just the wrong side of Birmingham, aren't they? I'm assuming in the old Birmingham League and the Southern League Central days. But you're right, it's weird how teams of two relatively similar size, actually. I mean, I've recalled this several times. I've seen a lot of Stourbridge a couple of years ago during an FA Cup run. You
had that, so didn't you and a few Kettering fans go from the first preliminary round to the final, meeting the winners of each team, and Stourbridge were included in that?
They were. We saw about 5 games of Stourbridge. A cracking, the one that the whole game of the whole run was a 3-3 thriller away at Plymouth. We had to do Plymouth from Kettering, which was quite a long journey, obviously, but it was a superb day. And as I say, they're a club of a very similar size to Kettering, great away fan base. I hope they don't let me down now by bringing 2 people and a dog. I say an old manager that's been there for a while, playing red, of course, classic, and certainly the Kettering fans felt a bit disillusioned 4 or 5 years ago. We failed at home with Stourbridge, and they were knocked out eventually by an ex-Poppy and Chris Beersley, who was playing for Stourbridge at the time. He scored a brace that day, so the connections were everywhere.
Chris Beersley, they're a name to conjure with, but not many, not too many associations with Stourbridge over the recent seasons, and there we go. But as I say, 4 team changes to the game against Aldershot. Gary Storr, of course, is still out with a broken foot. James Brighton is still recovering from injury. Aaron O'Connor played 30 minutes last week at Aldershot. It was great to see him back on the park. And we had a new signing, Carl Templeton from Leicester City, who doesn't make the squad this afternoon, which is quite surprising, nor does Mr. Berry either. So he's being rested. I think he was injured a little bit, wasn't he?
A little bit, yeah, but again, another player that I think is able to go to Marcus Law and say, I think I deserve 90 minutes off today, boss, and I say fully deserve that. But that is still a strong-looking side, and that's what Kettering fans want. We do love the FA Trophy. We'll talk about 2079 till the cows come home. They're great days getting to finals, but I don't think Kettering are necessarily looking forward to getting to a final. Brackley, of course, they won it. They won it, but their league form dropped off, didn't it? I think you ask any Kettering Town fan, league is the absolute be-all and end-all. But if you can get to, there's the rounds later on will pay for themselves. I mean, there's about 15 grand available if we get to the first round proper. Not to be sniffed at the moment.
Well, league is an important issue. That's the one we need to win, and we're back in action at Needham Market away next Saturday. And we got on Tuesday the 6th of November. It's at Kings Lynn Town in the City Social Security Cup second round, or whatever it's called these days. And on the 10th of November, we play Colville Town at home, or it's the FA Trophy round again. So whoever wins today, Kettering or Colville, the game might not go ahead.
No, I won't be.
Changes. It's a very, very strong bench for Kettering Town. And how do you think that Mark Hall's going to approach this game?
Well, it's interesting. He's not tempted to bring Aaron O'Connor on the pitch straight away. Maybe he wanted to try and get this game over and done within the first 60 minutes, basically, and then rest the key players. We're lucky that we don't have a game on Tuesday to worry about, so that's probably in his forefront, that he can give the likes of Rhys Honus another 90 minutes, Ben Mills as well. As I say, there's a lot of starting lineup there. We can't say that we know too much about Stourbridge. They've probably only I think they made 2 changes themselves from their last outing, so they're taking this seriously as well. And with obviously the thoughts of the league game coming up next month, so it's going to be a tough one. It really is. Everyone looked at the draw. Kettering been so unlucky with this draw, haven't they? So many teams from lower leagues levels available to them. They don't just draw someone in their own league; they draw someone who's actually challenging for the league title. So I don't think either side is going to show too much. It'd be interesting to see if Rhys gets another penalty opportunity, how this referee takes it. I'm sure that will be part of the Kettering Town master plan.
Do you think referees, Peter, are actually looking at Rhys Honus now, because he got quite a few penalties and decisions to go for Kettering? Do you think that's what went against him against Aldershot on Saturday, and is that an influence that's going to carry on through the season?
It could well be, but I can't believe the referee from last week was watching YouTube clips of Rhys Honus going over. You'd like to think a referee sees it as live, and they give their decision on that. Don't have ideas in the back of their mind. I don't think Saturday's just gone was based on Rhys Honus's previous. I think that was just a weak referee there. However, I think you're right in this league, where you will see the same cycle of referees talking. They'll talk amongst themselves. They'll see the same players, over a couple of times over the course of a season, and that reputation will start preceding Rhys Honus. However, he's doing something right to keep winning these. He has the pace. He is making the opposition defence do something they don't want to do. And I think if we watched all 11 penalties Kettering have been given, I think you'd be hard pressed. Probably maybe 1 or 2, which you'd say 50-50.
They're all blatant.
They are. Well, there we go. I'm trying to have a slightly less biased angle, but still, even I have to say, probably 9-10 of those are stonewall penalties. And if he's doing something right, let him carry on doing it. And the best thing, of course, is we're converting them this year.
We are indeed, and with Andrea Bohr getting a start as well, he has the power and pace to go past defenders like knife through butter. And with Rhys Honus on there, and of course we've got Lyndon Meikle and Marcus Kelly on the bench. Strong bench. It
is, yeah. But bringing on the likes of Marcus Kelly, if his things are not going your way, especially if it's a 0-0 or 1-0 with 20-30 minutes to go, I'm sure Marcus Kelly and O'Connor will be right at the forefront of his thoughts there. Keep Michael Richins. He must be close to suspension at the moment as well. He's building his yellow cards. Not at the same pace as last year, it has to be said, which is nice to see. Meikle, even Mr. Elmson, unlucky that he's probably not going to get a chance today, but you never know. Paul White, he's pulled off some cracking saves recently, and
phenomenal last week, wasn't he?
He was phenomenal. I've been quite critical of Paul White recently, but he's put in a shift in the last 3 or 4 days, 4 or 5 games really, and he deserves his place as Kettering's number 1.
I think he was rather harsh on himself, saying he could have done better with the goal that he conceded initially, the first goal. It was an acute angle which he parried and pushed out. My sort of turn on that was the defender should have been probably more alert to stop the forward from coming in to tap it in.
I agree, but then this is the difference between a conference striker and someone a bit less. Randall took the opportunity, he gambled, he knew what would happen, he'd already worked out the angle. The way the ball ran into his path could not have been more perfect. It was some of it's sheer luck. I think the striker has worked it out at the same time.
Then O'Connor had a similar sort of opportunity where he pulled the goalkeeper Wilf Manning, I think, into a similar sort of save in the second half, and no Kettering forward was actually following up. So as you say, that's a good example there of the difference in standard of forwards. But not to be too disheartened of that game at Aldershot. I thought we matched them really player for player. And just a bit more luck. I know it's luck both sides, but it didn't go Kettering's way, especially with the official. But just since the last time we were at Latimer Park, we've seen the departure of Jarvan Davidson-Miller. He's gone to Barwell. He scored on his debut and then scored in the next game as well. I shan't mention who he scored again on his debut, but they're a bit further down the league than we are. And Mason Riney is on loan at Deeping Rangers, as is Jack O'Connor at Cutno United. So we have a few players out on loan there, getting some match fitness. What do you think of the Kettering Town squad? You know, we all say, don't we, that we're always looking for players to come in. Do you think that there are going to be more players coming in, or do you think Marcus is now settled with a rather successful squad?
That's the problem, though. It's a successful squad, so it's tempting just to rest on your laurels. But injuries are going to come. Games are going to come thicker and quicker, especially after that FA Cup run. We have a couple of Tuesday night games. If there's an FA Trophy run, there's more games going on here. I'm sure they'll be strengthening. Even if Aaron O'Connor gets on the pitch again today, he's still 4 or 5 weeks, by his own admission, from being sharp and at his best. So there's still a striker's gap there to be filled. And I'm sure behind the scenes it's currently being looked at, and you know, who knows, there could be something happening as we speak right now we don't know about. So I really hope that you know, that anything that Marcus Lawler's asked for, I'm sure he's backed for by the board and by Rishi Jearn and by Dave Mahoney. But you know, I've said this before. You know, if you've got a great core and that consistency of the same starting 11 and 12, that's what wins leagues. And I think at the minute, this certainly mirrors the season from 3 or 4 years ago when Kettering won the Southern League Division 1.
We do, and we're only 2 points behind the same amount of points as last season when Hereford were the team of the moment, but Kettering the team of the moment with games in hand and still top, which is always a very good Brucey bonus, isn't it?
Absolutely, certainly. You know, we try not to look at these stats and their histories, but the way
I do.
Well, I know you do. That's what you want to do with your weekends. That's up to you. But the way Hereford ran away with the league last year, if you can mirror that sort of pace. Then
you look at Hereford this season. I mean, they got rid of their managerial team after a few games that they didn't win. I think rather harshly, taking up 5 divisions.
They were 9th as well at the time of the sacking. I think give the person a chance.
Peter Beadle left the club, and they're stranded around, I think, 4th from bottom of the Vanarama, and hopefully that wouldn't happen to Kettering.
Of course, we hope that certainly.
If and when we get to the Vanarama next season, but that's all sort of pie in the sky at the moment. We're concentrating on the builder-based FA Trophy, a competition Kettering haven't, they've underachieved in recent seasons, and last season didn't do too well, and could do with a run in this for the fans, I think. Personally, I prefer the league, but cup results and getting to Wembley would be great. I mean, I've not been to, well, I've been to the new Wembley, but not to see Kettering there yet.
No, Kettering fans love an away day, don't they? And it's just another opportunity to go to grounds you don't normally get to, especially of the lower leagues, because looking forward, not back, Kettering want to be higher up the pyramid, and they deserve to be. And the setup they have now, entering the ground today, the pitch looks superb. The fencing now has all been finished. This is now starting to look like a real home. Now
it feels more atmospheric, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and it deserves to now have a high level of football. You know, with the addition of a potential new stand, that's all part of the plan, I'm sure, before the new ground, which we can talk about later on. But no, the FA Trophy is one that I've adored, because the FA Trophy at Wembley was one of my first proper memories of Kettering Town. So I'll always hold them. That's the one, yeah. So yeah, my father talking about that all the time. But no, a lot of Kettering fans would have been won over by that Wembley trip, and the FA Trophy will always hold a spot for them. And it's just a shame that they've never been able to then kick on and have another stab at it, really, because a club the size of Kettering deserves to be there.
They do, and it's going to be a large ask to win that trophy. But it all starts today against Stourbridge, a side that can't be underestimated. Their side is a very strong side, with the likes of Luke Benbow, Robbie Thompson-Brown in there, and Aaron Ford, names that I recognise quite well. Greg Mills, of course, isn't starting for them either, and the one that can come on and cause a lot of problems. And they are the informed side in the league, alongside Royston, Biggleswade, and of course ourselves. Names you wouldn't really expect, although I did forecast that Stourbridge, Tamworth and Kings Lynn would be up there with us.
1 out of 3 in bed.
1 out of 3.
There's a song in that, I think, somewhere.
But they're certainly doing a very good job in the league. Long may that not continue. And hopefully when we meet in the league, it will be a Kettering Town win. But we'll be joining our commentators soon, in around 3 or 4 minutes' time, which is going to be myself and Gary Foreman. I'm going to hop up there rather quickly. Peter's going to go out in the freezing cold and take some photographs. So I'm not sure if the teams are out yet on the pitch. We've not got any pictures. I'm getting nothing from. I'm getting the nods. They're not out yet. So either the clock is speeding up, or the team's decided it's too cold to be out.
Oh, probably they've already put their clock back already. There's another hour to go. Waffling on for another hour.
Don't remember, it's turn your clocks back tonight. Get an hour's sleep, extra sleep in bed if you're lucky, unless you have a dog or kids, then you've got no chance. But there we go. As I say, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If we get over 1,000 subscribers, we then actually earn some money for Poppy's TV, having lost our revenue stream of broadcasting live imagery at the moment. Hopefully we can actually broadcast live in midweek and on Sundays, should those happen. But until then, we're having to...
I take it back, though. We do want a trophy run, so we have some Tuesday night home pages.
We've got a few of those already, haven't we? I do hear some racket from outside. I think it's our announcer, Gary Graham, stating that the players are on the way out. I'm getting nothing from our producer at the moment. He's nodding. He's now nodding at us. So we're going to leave. I'm going to hand you over to Gary Foreman, who should be upstairs on the gantry. I'm going to clamber up there with my thermal clothing, and hopefully we'll see a great game of football. It's Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Stourbridge, the Glass Boys, live here from Latimer Park.
Well, good afternoon everybody, and welcome to a very wet, very cold and very windy Latimer Park for today's FA Trophy clash against league rivals Stourbridge FC. And I've just been joined on the gantry by the one and only Mr. Paul Cook.
Good afternoon, Gary. And yes, we're here on a rather cold and wet afternoon at Latimer Park. There's a sprinkling of Stourbridge fans behind or in the tin hat. Stourbridge playing in their change colour of yellow and blue and white socks, rather Brazilian.
I was just about to say that, Paul. It's the Brazilian effect without the heat.
Without the heat, indeed. We'll just go through the lineups one more time for you. In goal for Kettering is Paul White, 3 Ben Tosden, 4 Brett Solkin, 9 Edmund Hotter, 10 Ben Mills, 11 Rhys Hones, 12 Dion Kelly Evans, 15 Declan Towers, 16 is Luke Graham, 17 Andre Borg and 18 Nathaniel Rowe Turner. And your subs this afternoon are 6 is Michael Richards, 7 Linda Meikle, 8 Aaron O'Connor, 14 Marcus Kelly, and goalkeeper is Lewis Eltham.
4 changes, Paul, I think. Is that right?
It is.
Maths right from
4 changes from a Saturday. It's going to be Stourbridge to kick off. They're going to be kicking from right to left very quickly. James Wren in goal, Aaron Hayden 2, Jordan Brown 3, 4 is Paul Macon, 5 is Aris Christopherson, 6 is Aaron Forday, 7 Darryl Westlake, 8 Leon Broadhurst, 9 Luke Bembrough, 10 Robbie Thompson Brown and 11 Carmen Anderson. So that's your starting lineup for the this afternoon. We're nearly underway here. It's going to be the Glass Boys to kick off in the yellow and blue shirts, Kettering of course in their red and black, and we are away. It's Benbow flicking the ball to the far side, and it's Hotter getting his first touch. Gives it straight away to the Stourbridge midfield. They're breaking away into the Kettering half. Good there to Benbow. Benbow turns, he finds Thompson Brown. Thompson Brown inside the penalty area. It was a little touch there from Towers, but it's Benbow again. A good start here from Stourbridge. Ball's out on the left-hand side. It's played through to Christopherson and put out for a corner by Kelly Evans, although it's a foul on Kelly Evans. Thompson Brown not happy with that, but the referee gives it in Kettering's favour.
Yeah, slight touch, a little bit fortuitous, I think, to get the free kick, but it's better than an early corner against, that's for sure.
So Paul White then in all green, just about to take this free kick. Doesn't look like a large crowd here at Latimer Park, and we'll give you the attendance obviously when we get it later on in the game. Paul White then puts the ball in play towards Hotter, who's pushed. Referee says nothing in it, but he was definitely pushed. Benbow with the ball in Kettering's half, a little flick but it gets away to Toseland. Toseland in the centre circle, trying to find Honus. He does. Honus flicks the ball through, but Borg is out of place, and Hayden should be able to deal with this. He does. There's a Stourbridge player down. It's Bembo in Kettering's half. Nothing has happened so far. He's still down. A charge there by Ben Milnes. Out comes goalkeeper James Wren. Bembo is still down in Kettering's half. Referee does turn to have a look. Points his finger. Nothing happening though. Bembo down. Solkin chests the ball back to Paul White. Referee now blows his whistle. Declan Towers goes over to have a quick chat with him. But he's on one knee, is Bembo, and the referee is signaling the sports therapist to trot on for the first time.
Yes, I think he'll be okay to carry on. Tough lad, to say the least. But just looking at Kettering's lineup, Paul, I was a little bit unsure when I saw the how they were going to play with the lineup. Looks like Declan Towers has got the right back job today, which is unusual. Kelly Evans pushed forward a little bit more into a wide right midfield role. I thought Ben Toseland might be playing wide left in the midfield, but he's sort of occupying a more central role. So it's an interesting formation, certainly one that we have not seen so far this season.
Yeah, there's no Dwell Berry. I think he's being rested from last week. It's looked like a nose problem, I think, for Bembo. He's being treated for either facial injury or looks like he's holding his nose. There's no blood. He's nipping off now with the sports therapist. Referee goes over to Paul White. He's not quite sure why. Oh, he's got the ball. That's why.
Yep,
he's
that's right.
straight over the ball.
He was hiding it, Paul.
He's hiding the ball
from
Paul White. So
Bembo just indicated it was an elbow, but
well, he would, wouldn't he?
Yes, he
but,
would. Yes,
irrespective if it was or not. But rain just coming down here at Latimer Park. If you are listening to this, you're probably in the best place, nice and warm and secure, as Towers finds Solkin on the far side. Solkin with a bit of space. He finds Turner, Roe Turner, just inside the half. Hotter has to turn back though, plays it back to Luke Graham. He's playing in the centre in the back four. Graham puts the ball wide to Towers. Towers has got Bembo coming after him. Does well, Towers. Flicks the ball through to Honus. Honus turns. He's being harassed by two Stourbridge players. He finds Hotter on the halfway line. Hotter turns. Flicks the ball back to Kelly Evans. Plays it to Graham. Graham trying to find Honus. Honus pushed in the back. Nothing given. And away comes Borg. Does well, Borg. Flicks it through to Toseland in the centre of the park. Kettering into this. Here's Roturner. Little 1-2 off the Stourbridge player. Flicks it into Ben Milnes, but cleared by Westlake. And they get it away towards Brett Solkin, who puts it out for a throw-in on the far side by the Burton Park Wanderers stand. Those of you that have been to Latimer Park will know where that is. And a throw-in to be taken. It's won by Roe Turner, but Stourbridge get the ball back to Bembo. Bembo having quite a bit of a game so far in the early stages. Ball's with them. Honus is being fouled there by the number 3 Jordan Brown. Referee gives it just in the centre circle in the Stourbridge half. Catching then a chance with a set piece. Long way out though for any strike on goal. But it is Ben Toseland over the ball. Declan Towers coming over to get some information from Marcus Law. Toseland taking his time with this, looking at he's now left it for Edmund Hotter, or ST Hotter, depending on how you want to pronounce it. He flicks the ball through towards Honus, but easily cleared by Stourbridge, and away they come with Christopherson. He's playing the ball back to Thompson Brown. Thompson Brown is fouled by Hotter. Referee gives the free kick just inside Kettering's half, by the halfway line. Quickly taken by Christopherson, and he finds Mikone on the far side. He pushed the ball through to Hayden. Hayden trying to find the number 11, and Anderson. He does. Anderson by the byline, being checked by Roe Turner, and it goes for a Stourbridge corner, first of the afternoon, and a bit of danger here for Kettering.
Yep, bit of danger. There's certainly a few tall players out there today for Stourbridge. So they're playing with 3 centre halves today, all of them well over 6 foot, and each of them has come forward for this corner, first one of the game.
So in comes the corner, high towards the near post, and put out there by the number 3 Jordan Brown. Kettering gets a goal kick. There's around 30 or 40 Stourbridge fans in the tin hut. They have their flags pinned on the wall at the back, obscuring our sponsors. But driving rain going into the tin hat, and umbrellas up all around. Dismal afternoon here at Latimer Park. Winter looks like it may be arriving, or the Arctic conditions, as Paul White gets this ball back into on the Stourbridge half, but it's easily won by Anderson. He finds Benbow in the centre of the half of Kettering. Back to Thompson Brown. Thompson Brown to Benbow. Benbow looking up, plays a smart ball, but intercepted by Towers. He finds Edmund, who then is scythed down, and the referee there having a quick little chat with Thompson Brown. And quickly taken by Towers to Ben Mills. Mills, long ball for the chasing Borg. Won't get to Borg. And ball out of play by Aaron Forday. Throw into Kettering, taken by Kelly Evans. Evans, he finds Mills. Mills trying to set Honus away, but put out by Paul McCone for a throw-in. It's into the Stourbridge half with Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans still with the ball. 1-2 with Solken, trying to feed Borg and Honus. Honus now by the byline. Can he get anything over? He can't. And that runs out, and luckily for Kettering, for a goal kick. I wonder how warm it is in the studio. Not normally up here in these Arctic conditions.
No, it's a very cold wind, I think we can safely say, that's in our faces at the moment. But we'll stick through it, won't we?
You've got gloves. So Wren with the goal kick only finds Luke Graham. Luke Graham heads back into the Stourbridge half. Honus can't win the ball, and he tries, but he fouls the number 8 Broadhurst. Referee gives a free kick, quickly taken. It's Christopherson to Benbow, but he can only stretch out the leg and put the ball out of play. Throw into the Poppies. Kelly Evans with the throw-in, looking around. Not a lot on for him at the moment. Solken shouting a few instructions, but Evans not been able to do too much with it. Trying to find Hotter, can't. Flicked on by Stourbridge to Benbow. Benbow, though, misses the ball. Towers side foots this, and it's going to go out of play for a throw-in. Rather scrappy at the moment. Both sides struggling to maintain a passage of play as Towers heads that ball out for another throw-in. Third down, 5 yards, I think that term is, if Ed Palmer was listening. But it's going to be the number 3 to take this throw, which he's done. That's Brown. He's trying to find Thompson Brown, but it goes off his foot for a throw-in right in the Kettering corner flag on the left-hand side, which is going to be taken by Declan Towers. Towers then looking around, throws the ball towards Hotter. Hotter loses the ball, gets caught in the face, so referee laughs, and Hotter goes down holding his face. Didn't see any contact myself, did you?
No, it might have been a brush, but nothing more than that, and referees got him to his feet quickly, so we can continue.
So the ball back with Jordan Brown. He finds Thompson Brown. Still Thompson Brown, gets to Forday to Benbow. Benbow, long square ball over to Hayden on the far side. Hayden has got Westlake with him. He finds Westlake. Back to Hayden. Hayden comes inside Borg, feeds the ball through to Anderson. He's got the ball to Westlake. Back to Anderson. Good passage of play here from Stourbridge. Square ball to Ben Low. He flicks it. Nice little flick. Ball comes over here. Paul White comes out. And a good take by Paul White under pressure there from Thompson Brown. Good work, though, from Stourbridge. First real passage of play from either side.
Yeah, they look pretty confident on the ball. They're obviously playing well at the moment, doing well in the league. I think they're third at the moment in our league. So very strong side that, as you would expect, Stourbridge. And they've probably made, well, they have made the better start.
So Luke Graham has given the ball, has to play it back to Paul White. White comes out, delivers it. It's holding in the wind. Stourbridge have the wind in their favour at the moment. Brett Solken heads it on to Hotter, but it's a foul by Hotter on Anderson. A referee may be getting something out of his pocket, I'm not quite sure. Anderson's gone down like a sack of spuds, and a wave for the sports therapist to come on. Referee having a word now with ST Hotter. Milnes is going over, been told to go away by the referee. The Stourbridge player looks like his life is ended. He's down there being given the kiss of life.
Going to be a yellow card, I think. It was an ungainly challenge, no doubt about that.
In his pocket, is it coming out? Can we mention this? It's going to be coming out, yes. The yellow card, I think it is for Hotter, yes. He goes into the book as the first booking of the day. That's a foul on Anderson, who gets up straight away once the booking has been placed in the referee's notebook. So 0-0 here at Latimer Park. Very, very cold afternoon indeed, as I keep mentioning. Lights flickering on. This time last week at Aldershot we were in shorts and t-shirt. It shows you how the weather can change so dramatically very quickly. And those of you who've been to Latimer Park, if you've been on our gantry, will know it's like the north face of the Eiger. But free kick comes in from Thompson Brown, headed on there, and Paul White doesn't collect the ball. It bounces off his chest and hooked away. Borg puts it back into to Turner. There's a Stourbridge player down in the 6-yard box. He collided with Paul White. He's down again. On comes the Bizio sports therapist. He spent more time on the pitch than some of the players, I think, in action.
Yeah, it's been a very stop-start affair, hasn't it, Paul? I must admit, some innocuous fouls, a yellow card one there for Hotter, and now we've got another stoppage. And obviously the players will be trying to keep warm, let alone us on the gantry, but can't quite see who it is who's on the floor.
It was a collision with Paul White, wasn't it? I mean, Paul White had to get the ball at second attempt and it was cleared. There was no foul, of course, but it looked like he's been winded and still on this 6-yard box. He's got up now to the applause of the Stourbridge fans who are chanting his name. It looks like Leon Broadhurst, if that is correct, where they're saying Leon, Leon. So
yep, good deduction.
So he's being taken off as is the rules, and it's going to be Anderson who's going to play the ball back to Paul White, I think, so we can get the passage to play back underway, and he does so. Paul White applauds that, takes one touch, comes out of the penalty area, thinks about giving the ball to Towers, doesn't, delivers the ball though on the far side to Nathaniel Rowe Turner. Toseland signals for it, he gets the ball on the far side, he's got the number 2 to beat Hayden, he does so, still inside Hayden, good work there from Toseland, back to Mills, Mills puts a low ball, cleared by McCone. Solken comes in, flicks the ball back to Mills, Mills back to Solken. Solken could use Toseland, he does, and Toseland though puts a loose ball to Hayden, who then just unceremoniously just hoofs it out the ground.
Slight tactical change for Kettering. They've now gone to 3 at the back. Rowe Turner, Towers and Luke Graham in between, and Brett has moved forward to centre midfield. We've now got Kelly Evans and Toseland as wing backs.
So the ball's aimed towards Borg, he can't get there, but Rhys Honus can. He flicks the ball through to, he doesn't, he uses it himself. It's Honus with that pacey run on the far side, turns one way, turns the other, gets the ball to Borg. Borg though has to play the ball back, I think, to Honus. He does, not a lot on for him. He goes one way again. Is he going to release Borg? No, he doesn't. He finds Toseland. Toseland might try a shot. In comes the shot from Toseland. And what a goal from Ben Toseland! 1-0. Oh, he took that spectacularly. Goalkeeper, no chance.
Excellent finish. Something out of nothing really. Right on the corner of the penalty area, just outside the penalty area. Just rolled back. And criticism there from the Stourbridge management for not closing Ben Townsend down. To close him down sufficiently, couple of yards, shifted it onto his left foot. We know how good he can strike the ball on his left foot, and right into the top corner of the Stourbridge goal. And as you say, James Wren, he was floundering, no chance to reach that one.
15 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. Then it's Kettering Town 1, Stourbridge 0, and what a spectacular goal that was from the youngster. He got something similar like that at Farnborough after a mazy run. He let loose with his left foot. He did that without the run this time. Great goal, and it is Stourbridge then pumping the ball forward. Paul White though has this under control, no pressure there whatsoever, and that was a great warming the cockles of the hearts of the Poppies fans who are freezing cold as Towers now comes away with the ball, trying to set through Borg. Broadhurst underneath it, but Borg beats him. That's incredible. Borg's the size of a dwarf compared to Broadhurst, who's a giant, and rather panic there from Hayden, who kicks the ball out for a Kettering Town throw-in as the rain creeps into the gantry even further. Honus back to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans to Towers. Towers to Mills. Mills flicks the ball through to Borg, but intercepted by Westlake. It is Thompson Brown. He gives the ball away to Milnes. Milnes over the halfway line. He's got nobody with him. Flicks the ball through to Ben Toseland. He has to come back, loses the ball though, but it's put out by Anderson. Linesman doesn't know what to do. And it didn't come off Ben Toseland.
Nope, got that one wrong.
Got that one wrong. And referee and linesman wrong again. This is a picture from last week. Throw in then to the visitors. Flicked on towards Bembo, but cut out by Luke Graham, who's playing the centre of defence. Bembo again being pressured by Luke Graham. He finds Thompson Brown. Thompson Brown with the ball. He turns to Bembo. Bembo squares it to Broadhurst. Broadhurst steps inside Milnes. Might try a shot. Doesn't. Feeds the ball onto the wing to Christopherson. He puts the ball in now, headed out by Towers, but it doesn't reach Honus. It only reaches Kelly Evans though. He pumps the ball forward but gives the ball straight back to the Stourbridge number 5 there. Stourbridge though, pressing forward. Broadhurst puts the ball out on the wing to Christopherson. He's got Kelly Evans in front of him. He finds Thompson Brown. Might try a shot outside penalty area. Squares it. Here comes Forday. Tries a shot. Blocked by Luke Graham. Tries to get to Borg, but the number strong 3, Brown, he finds Forday. Forday plies a shot in. And Paul White lets that one go as Broadhurst is running in, but sadly just out of touch there. But good work there from Stourbridge. They're not giving up. Long time to go in this game though. 1-0 to the Poppers, and it's good cup football at the moment.
Well, I don't know about giving up. They've made the better start, but they found themselves 1-0 behind to a very good strike from Ben Toseland. Apart from that, Kettering really haven't got on the ball and passed as we know they can. But as you say, early doors.
Ben Milnes with the ball. He's trying to find Borg. He does. Borg on this right wing. Goes outside with his pace. He's got 2 round him. Broadhurst comes in front of him, tries to check him. Does very well there, Borg. Oh, silky skills, but unfortunately those skills actually, he put the ball out doing a double. What's it called in ballet when you do that? A tutu, a solka, or
pass?
Pass, yes, but away comes Broadhurst then with the ball. Luke Graham heads, does well on to Kelly Evans, but it's going to be Brown that wins this. He does, intercepted by Borg, hoofed by the Stourbridge centre-back. Luke Graham lets it go back to Paul White, and the wind having a factor in this game. Kettering against the wind in this first half. Towers, long ball towards Honus. Broadhurst is underneath it, puts the ball out for a throw-in. It's thorn between 2 rocks there, isn't it, with Honus and the 2 giants next to him, but the ball's back with Towers. Towers on his right foot squares the ball to the other side of the ground to Roe Turner. Roe Turner looks up, he finds the goal scorer, Toseland. He flicks it back to Roe Turner, trying to find Honus. Honus heads the ball down, a good header to Milnes. Milnes though, trying to find Solkin, but Broadhurst gets the ball away. He gets it to Brown. Brown does very well, and the ball is with Hayden on the far side, and Hayden plays out of trouble towards Bembo, flicks it on. Good player is this Bembo, interesting flicks and turns, but he can only find Solkin. Solkin does a dummy turn and plays the ball back to Paul White. Paul White facing the rain, still with the ball just out on the D of his area. Member going to try and chase him down. He's delivered it towards Ben Toseland. Toseland flicks it, but only flicks it out of play. And throw in to the visitor to be taken by Aaron Hayden. Stourbridge pressing for a little flick again by Bembo. He likes these little back flicks, doesn't he? And they haven't come off yet. Let's hope they don't. Paul White delivers the ball, but can't get it out the half due to the wind. Milnes is beaten to it. Ball back with Bembo. He finds Forday, and Towers has to do well here as Christopherson was bearing down and cut out by Stourbridge. Put out for a throw-in, which were taken by Kelly Evans. Milnes given away to Hotter though. Hotter loses the ball. He's trying to get the ball back, can't. Away goes Broadhurst. He finds Bembo. Bembo to Thompson Brown. He's released Anderson. Anderson with a bit of space here, being challenged by Towers by the corner flag. Plays the ball back to Christopherson. He squares it to the gloved number 6 Forday, and he plays a poor ball. Leaves it and Paul White just comes out there, takes his time, picks the ball up, and danger, if there was any danger, averted. Bowls the ball out to Roe Turner on the far side. Turner with a bit of space if he wants to use it. Decided to play a long ball, I think. Takes one touch, now plays it to Ben Milnes inside the Stourbridge half, back to Roe Turner. Turner to Ben Toseland. Toseland under pressure from Westlake. Gets the ball back to Luke Graham. Graham squares it to Milnes. Milnes though has to put the ball back to Paul White under increasing pressure. Paul White waves his arms away, tells the Kettering players to get forward. Takes one touch, takes another. Still Paul White with the ball. He's trying to find Hotter. Hotter wins the ball, but only goes towards Forday. He finds Bembo in the Kettering half. Back to Hayden. Hayden advances into Kettering's half. He's got nothing on at the moment. Plays a long ball, but poor ball, and that goes out waywardly for a Kettering Town throw-in left by Kelly Evans, as Declan Towers eventually goes over to collect it. Still 1-0 here.
And not a lot else to really report, I have to say. It's been a very disjointed game, lots of stoppages. Stourbridge have been passing the ball better than Kettering, that's fair to say. But Paul White's had nothing to do apart from try and keep warm, whereas Mr. Wren has already had to fish the ball out of his net just at once.
Salkin can only pass the ball to Hayden. Hayden fires it back in towards Bembo. Bembo, the dangerous man, is outside penalty area towards the number 6, tries a block, but blocked by Roe Turner. Back into Kettering's half. Toseland can't do too much with it. He gives it the ball to Westlake. Westlake to Bembo, back to Westlake. In comes the ball here. There's number 10 here. Back post. And good work there from Kelly Evans as a goal seems certain. Ball's back in the Kettering Town penalty area, but Towers just hoofs the ball away as Borg is flattened. Nothing given by the referee. It's still Stourbridge in control here, making the most of the wind. Borg being pulled there, shirt being ripped off his back. Tries to take a quick throw in and a quick free kick, but the referee said moving ball and brings it back. 22 minutes gone here at Latimer Park. It is Kettering Town 1, Stourbridge 0. That's goal scored on 15 minutes. A spectacular one by Ben Toseland. And if you are listening to this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we get, the better it is for our finances eventually. You'll be able to see highlights of this game in the week, and keep tuned to that. We'll bring you interviews of post-match later as it happens. It is Towers then trying to find Honus, who's been wrestled the ball, but Salkin comes in, chests it down. What Salkin might try a shot himself here. He looks like it, takes one touch too many, gets the ball to Borg though. Borg outside the penalty area, runs wide, has to go even wider onto his right foot. In comes Borg, he's knocked off it, and he runs it out of play. I think he was almost going to go down for a penalty, but the referee shakes his head. Unlucky there for Kettering. It looked like a good move, but in the end nothing happened of any interest.
Yeah, the left-hand side centre half there, Jordan Brown, he had a little bit of a nibble at Andre Borg, but yeah, not a penalty, and goal kick was the correct decision.
Oh, ball back into play. Luke Graham in is let Bembo have a shot there from about 30 yards. It went way over Paul White's goal mouth. It was one of those opportunist efforts, and they've gone in spectacularly. You'd have run around saying that's the goal of the season, but it hit the auto fix hoardings.
Great idea though, great idea, taking it on the half volley very quick.
Especially with the wind, isn't it, as well? That's what
absolutely.
St Neots didn't do when we played them when they had the wind. They tried to play football rather than have a shot or two, but Paul White gets the ball not out of his own half, hasn't managed that yet with this wind. It's back with Bembo trying to find Broadhurst, but intercepted by Salkin. Back to Roe Turner, and he puts the ball back to Paul White, who gets it again, doesn't again get it out the half. Wind holding it up. Roe Turner slices the ball to Kelly Evans, who then plays it towards Hotter. Hotter brought down, and the back referee says nothing, and away comes Broadhurst for the visitors. He's not a lot on. Intercepted by Hotter to Towers. Towers breaking away with the ball now. Can Kettering have a counter attack with Rhys Honus? Honus on the far side loses the ball, has to retrieve it, then is hammered down there by Brown, and the referee gives a free kick to Kettering just over the halfway line. Should be a yellow card, but nothing given. Our cameraman there is inciting a yellow card, but I'm afraid nothing given from referee Mr. Sinclair. Was it Brett Sinclair? Was he one here with the Persuaders?
That programme was slightly before my time, Paul.
Most things aren't they?
Oh, I don't know about
that. So it is going to be a free kick right on the halfway line now. A few inches being pinched there by Kettering. It's Road Turner as the rain drives down here at Latimer Park. He plays the ball to Mills. It's back with Road Turner. Road Turner trying to find Honus. He does. Honus comes inside though. Finds Hotter, who's in the way. Hotter gives the ball away though, and away come the visitors. It's Thompson Brown. Feeds through Benbro. Paul White comes out and he shoots at Paul White. Only gets to the legs though. It was a good stop from Paul White. Stourbridge still with the ball, trying to capitalise on an error from Kettering. It's Benbow who had the chance. Fires one in. It's unmarked. Offside though is the number 11. Another good save though from Paul White. It doesn't matter. White furious with his defence. Offside's been given, and Anderson's shot, had it have gone in, would not have counted. But it just shows you if you don't watch out, it can be easily averted, and it's pressure from the visitors.
Yeah, good stops from Paul White. The first one in particular, Benbow looked very lively this afternoon. Just got through. It looked a touch, whether it was offside or not, touch and go, but very good stop, rushing off his line and blocking the ball on his chest. So well done, Paul White.
Luke Graham plays the ball back to Paul White, who takes a little fumble there and then slices the ball. He can't get it out the half. It's back in though from Kelly Evans. He only finds the number 10 who's going to try a shot, but a foul by Kelly Evans. The referee there, that wasn't a foul. The Kettering bench incensed by the decision. So is Kelly Evans, but it's in a very dangerous place with the wind as the sleet now comes down. And a bit of banter between the two. Bit of banter between the two benches here. I won't mention the words, but it's Benbow and the number 10 Thompson Brown. Oh, it's a very dangerous position. It's a good striking distance for the visitors, and they've got the wind in their favour. There's 3 in the wall as the snow now comes down. Yes, we're seeing all the elements this afternoon. It's going to be Benbow taking this. In comes Benbow, tries one in, and that's 3 points, and he may as well have taken that to Franklin's Gardens. Peter Short's going to Sri Lanka to watch the cricket pretty soon. That would be good as the 6th. Marcus Law still having a word down here with the linesman about the decision. Not happy with it.
Linesman didn't give it.
He didn't.
It was a referee's decision for the free kick, but no harm done, as you say. Blazed over the ball. Good conversion.
So Paul White then with the kick. Oh, a low kick, poor from Paul White that was. He gives it straight away though to Hayden. Hayden marches forward. White was quite lucky with that. They had no trajectory on it whatsoever. It was low. It's back with Forday. Forday, high ball, but that's also poor. And Paul White this time easily collects that. Trots out, bowls the ball out to Declan Towers. Towers with some time. He fires the ball towards Borg. Borg traps it well, turns, has to go back a few paces, plays the ball back to Roe Turner on the far side. The Kettering fans try to get undercover with this winter snow coming down now. Push forward there by Roe Turner, trying to find Borg, but that's covered by Microne, who lets the ball go out of play, and it goes out for a goal kick. Borg saying that he's been elbowed away from it, referee having none of it. So far referee hasn't given one decision Kettering's way, and
he did disallow the goal.
Pardon?
He didn't disallow the goal.
Well, it'd been impossible, wouldn't it? So Wren then with the goal kick. Won by Salkin, won well. He's trying to find Borg. Borg though has been beaten by Broadhurst, but away now comes Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans has got two with him. He's got Honus down there. He finds Ben Mills. Mills turns, loses the ball though. Cleared by the number 8, but only to Hot, who stumbles. Flicks the ball back to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans puts a good ball in towards the back post. It's Rhys Honus. Flicks the ball down, and Mills can't get there. Away comes Thompson Brown. He finds Anderson. Anderson flicks the ball out to Hayden, and away goes Anderson. But this time Rowe Turner gets there beforehand, puts the ball to Paul White to hoofs the ball out, and that goes out for a throw-in on the far side. Paul White not having much luck with his kicks at the moment, the wind not helping him. He'll be better in the second half when he's got it with him, but it is the number 10, Thompson Brown, flicking the ball through into the Kettering half. He's found Broadhurst. Broadhurst to Anderson. Anderson robbed by Bembo. And it is now back with Thompson Brown. Good ball. He's found the number 8 who fires one. Good stop there by Towers. Evans heads the ball. In the process is rifled down by Broadhurst. Referee gives a free kick, but again, it looked a little dangerous.
Yeah, that was a free kick and the referee gave it, so Broadhurst there with the challenge on Kelly Evans. But yes, Stourbridge still applying most of the pressure in the game, but Kettering, I think since the tactical change, we're going to 3 at the back, Kettering has steadied the ship somewhat and started to find their passes a little bit more now.
So it's Stourbridge, Bembo with the ball. He's had a lot of the ball as Bembo. He finds Jordan Brown. Brown plays the ball in Kettering half towards Christopherson. He finds Broadhurst back to the number 5. Has to play it back into their own half. Can't be intercepted by Rhys Hones, but it is headed back by Rowe Turner, only to Jordan Brown. He's got the ball to Broadhurst, back with Brown. Brown falls over and almost looks like an interesting romantic encounter between the two of them there, but it is flicked on by Towers, and Kelly Evans uncharacteristically has been thrown to the floor, sir, and he rather roughly, and it is 30 minutes gone here. It's Kettering Town 1, Stourbridge 0. That goal scored 15 minutes ago by Ben Tozen, a spectacular goal which you'll see on our highlights later. Ball back in Kettering's half as the rain, sleet fires down here at Latimer Park. It seems that all Saturdays at Latimer Park seem to be rain. The last game against Hensford was cold and dismal. Before that against AFC Mansfield it was cold and dismal. Only away games at Aldershot and various other places where the sunshine and heat help us. But very dismal here. Other than the result so far, of course, the scoreline. Towers flicks the ball on to Kelly Evans and he heads it out. Thrown to be taken by Christopherson. Gets the ball back from the throw-in. Plays the ball back to the gloved Fonde, but it's blocked by Ben Milnes. Broadhurst heads it back in towards Christopherson. He has to turn, comes off him. It's a Kettering Town ball. Linesman's actually given this one. Milnes flicked on there, but it's rather optimistically towards Honus. Broadhurst can clear this one. Hotter's beaten to it. Kelly Evans wins that. For a small man, he does very well as it's offside there by Rhys Hones by a couple of yards only, and rather unluckily. But Kelly Evans can rather jump high, can't he?
He's got a leap on him. We've seen that a few times. I think his first goal he scored for Kettering was from a header, as I recall. He's saying not the smallest man, but if you can jump, you stand a chance of surprising somebody.
So it's going to be a throw-in to Stourbridge midway in the Kettering half on our left-hand side by the away dugout. Getting a bit brighter, but it's still raining here as it is Christopherson with this throw-in. Nothing's happened yet. He still has the ball in his hand. He releases Bemba, who turns, plays a square ball towards Fond. He puts the ball wide out towards Hayden. Hayden with the ball now. Pushed there by the number 11. Cut out by Toseland. Kettering now have a chance to come away with Toseland. He fires the ball towards Honus. It doesn't reach him though. Broadhurst cuts that out. Wind helping the Stourbridge defenders in that occasion. Bembo back with the ball. The number 9 who's certainly had a lot of the ball in this game so far. Is their playmaker and is their dangerous threat. He finds the Fond. A little flick there, but Graham puts the ball towards Honus, who steps back onside. Ball back in Kettering's half. Graham beaten to this, and Rowe Turner heads the ball back to Paul White. Certainly this wind having an effect, and it is playing into the Stourbridge favour at the moment. Hopefully in the second half it will still be there in Kettering's favour.
Yeah, it's definitely a factor at the moment. You can see with the high clearances from Kettering, they're sort of stalling as soon as they get up into the air and coming back at them. It's Fonde on the far side putting a ball in towards the number 11 Anderson, and that just goes by the near post.
for a goal kick. For a moment there, I thought Paul White had missed that, and it had trickled in, but it hasn't. And
oh, well, he missed it, all right, but he was letting it trickle behind for a goal kick, so I think he knew what he was doing there.
I'll give Paul the benefit of the doubt there. Had an exceptional game last week at Aldershot, putting off a string of superb saves. Indeed, those that you that saw that, getting a bit of abuse from the Stourbridge fans behind that goal, but delivers the ball and still hasn't got it out of the Kettering half with this wind. Hotter beaten to it. Away come Stourbridge now into the Kettering half. It's Thompson Brown. He's got number 5 out wide. Christopherson, he plays the ball in, a good ball here to the unmarked number 8 Broadhurst. He plays it to Bembo. Bembo tries a shot, but Milnes is fouled and is hobbling around there by Bembo. I don't think it was intentional. Just about to fire, wasn't he, Bembo, and Milnes got in the way.
And Bembo kicked Milnes rather than the ball, but yeah, no harm done. Kettering free kick. There's been a lot of free kicks in this half, I have to say.
Towers told to take the ball back. He's left it for Paul White. So Paul White's about to take this free kick just outside the D in his half, obviously. And again, struggling with the wind, but he does find Kelly Evans. He traps it well, plays the ball back to Towers, but Towers is out of position. He turns, Bembo brings him down and says it is a throw-in to Stourbridge. Marcus Law can't believe it, but it's been given. Both managers having a little tete-a-tete there. Forday in the centre of the park has to play the ball back to McCone. McCone squares it to Jordan Brown, to Hayden. Hayden. He finds Westlake. Westlake still with the ball, flicks it through to Anderson. Back to Forday, outside the penalty area, squares the ball towards Thompson Brown. Might try a shot, doesn't. Flicks it back to Forday. Forday puts a low ball down, a little flick there. And the number 8, Broadhurst, with a lot of time. He could have taken a little bit more time to get on target. Rifles it over the bar, but that should have been better from the Stourbridge number 8.
Good football there from Stourbridge. Again, Bembo with a flick. This one did come off straight into the path of Broadhurst. He had a little bit of time, but not too much. Kelly Evans was closing down quickly, as you say, over the bar. Good result for Kettering, but another demonstration there of Stourbridge quality play, approach play.
Well, the ball has been hoofed out by Paul White. It's gone straight back to him from Luke Graham. He bowls the ball out to Roe Turner on the far side. He's pressed forward into the Stourbridge half. A good run from Roe Turner, but he finds ball. Ball turns. He's got a few options here. He's little snap at him. Here's Hotter. Might try a shot. Hotter does it. Ricochets. Hotter gets the ball back. Might try another one. He does. And it came off a defender. Looked like it was in the top left-hand corner, but just went over the bar. Good effort from Hotter, and it gives Kettering Town the chance with a corner to have a first set piece of any authority in this game.
Yeah, Hotter's shot flew off the head of McCone. He didn't seem to know much about it, to be honest, and the referee wants a chat with is it McCone or is it Ford? No, I think he's just got McCone in, being the captain. Just having a word with Forday. Obviously said something that the referee disagreed with, disapproved of. But it's a very cold afternoon, the rain's coming down, and the referee our assistant manager giving some advice to the referee to stop his little chat out there and get on with the game. So here we go.
So Ben Milnes with the corner comes in here and headed away easily by Stourbridge. Reese Hones chasing it. It's gone midway into the Kettering half. It's back with Ben Toseland as Stourbridge rearranged their defence. Toseland puts a long ball in, but headed out by McCone, only towards Roe Turner. He squares the ball. He gets it eventually to Reese Hones. It came off the number 11 Anderson. He plays the ball back to Toseland, who just is inside the Stourbridge half, but that ball's wavering in the air. Towers is beaten to it by Brown, and away come the Glass boys. Flick the ball through to Broadhurst. Broadhurst, though, beaten by Luke Graham, who goes down under the challenge. Roe Turner does well. Marches forward, Roe Turner. He's like a rampant bull here going through. He's still got the ball, but then loses it. And he's still fighting with it. and is said to have fouled the number 10 Thompson Brown. That was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, the old cliche, but referee doesn't give us anything again.
It was a good run there from Roturner, storming through the centre. Unfortunately, he couldn't see Rhys Owens off to his left. That was the pass that was on. Tried to thread it through to Borg, that didn't work, and I think it was a foul, to be fair to the referee on that occasion.
Good work though from Luke Graham, who gets the ball out, but only towards Fonday. Fonday in the centre of the park in Kettering's half, feeds the ball out to Aaron Hayden, to Westlake. Westlake gets the ball back to Hayden. Back to Forday, little flick there from the number 10 Thompson Brown, but to no avail. Forday comes in, good challenge from Brett Solken, and Solken gets the ball to Honus. Only one up though for Kettering, it's Borg. Squares the ball through to Hotter. Hotter in the way though, and that play falls down as Bembo on the halfway line tries to get the Glass Boys' next attack working. Gets the ball back to McCone. McCone to the number 2 Hayden on the far side, but a poor ball from him. And Ben Toseland just lets this one run a little while he turns and then delivers the ball back into the half. That should be put out by Hayden. Flicks a handball there, missed by the referee. And away come Stourbridge, looking up, playing a long ball towards Bembo. Bembo gets a square ball to the number 10 Brown, who fires a wayward shot. That goes cannons off into the tin hat end. Miles wide there, but had pace with it on target. That could have been a little bit different, but again showing some sort of thought pattern, using the weather to the conditions.
Yeah, not afraid to have a shot from distance, as you say. They got the wind at the back. Bembo was the closest effort, with the opportune effort earlier on in the game, but Mr. Cook is now heading down the stairs, getting ready for the half-time chat. We've just got a couple of minutes plus any stoppage time that the referee wants to add. Hopefully won't be any in today's conditions. Ball goes forward, cut out by Masson at the back to Brett Solken in the centre, but dispossessed there from Thompson Brown. Comes through to Bembo, looking to pick a pass, finds Thompson Brown out onto the left-hand side. Christopherson inside, back to Bembo, shapes up to have a shot, thinks about it again, but has a run instead, taking on Roturner, and I thought he might have got a corner, but no, it came off the Stourbridge man last, so that's a goal kick. Kettering will take their time as we approach half-time. They've certainly not had most of the ball this afternoon so far, but the most important statistic is the 1-0 scoreline in their favour, thanks to that great strike from Ben Toseland getting a start this afternoon. Paul White launches the ball forward, reaches the halfway mark this time in the wind. Bit of head tennis going on the far hand side. Sits down with Broadhurst, but will play forward again. Brett Solken is in the way. Forday launches it forward. It looks as though it's, yep, the referee does indeed give the foul for offside. It's Cayman Anderson there, who is just a yard ahead of the play. So again, Kettering will take their time with this free kick, about 15 yards inside their half, and it looks like Luke Graham will be the one to play, but he actually leaves it to Paul White, who's coming up to launch this free kick forward. Two minutes of extra time to come as Paul White launches it forward towards Brett Solken, beaten in the air by Brown, but breaks on the far side to Rhys Owens, looking to take on his man, holding the play up, trying to pick a pass. Still Rhys Owens inside to Hotter. Hotter under pressure from Broadhurst, having to work backwards, and pays the ball back to Luke Graham on the halfway line. Plays it forward. Christopherson with the header away. Towers responsive with the header, but it comes to Broadhurst inside to Forday. Forday looking to switch on his right hand side to Westlake, striding forward. comes inside onto his right foot, onto his left foot, and then back to his right foot, but the ball trickles through harmlessly to Paul White, who bowls the ball out to Ben Milnes, crossing the halfway line for Kettering Town. Ball forward, cut out by Misson to Westlake. Misson goes long back to the halfway line, where Ford is trying to control it under pressure from Roe Turner. Stourbridge with the ball in play. Paul White rushing out of his area to clear the ball again. Misson though with the header, and falls to Broader just inside the centre circle. Christopherson trying to play 1-2 with Benbow. Benbow slips over though, but Christopherson still works back to get the ball. Misson to Ford just inside Kettering's half, looking for a pass, but not much movement up front, and cut out by Luke Graham to Edmund Otter. Charged down by Broadhurst, but Declan Towers will get there first. And just matter to see what he can do. Plays it to Kelly Evans on the right hand side, going nowhere, and buys the foul near the corner flag. And that should bring matters to a conclusion, I think, by the time Paul White wanders over to take the free kick right near the corner spot. Probably when the ball is in the air, the referee will call time, but you never know. Paul White places the ball down, locks up, short run up, and it's cleared forward, and the referee doesn't blow up, and we're still playing. And the ball bounces around in midfield, and that will do. That will do. Half time here at Latimer Park. Very cold, very windy, but a goal to warm the Kettering Town fans' hearts from. Rare start these days for Ben Toseland. And the half-time score, Kettering Town 1, Stourbridge 0.
Well, a cold first half there for the Poppies, but a wonderful warming goal from Ben Toseland, his first of the season on 15 minutes, gives Kettering Town the lead in this FA Trophy Bill-based first qualifying round, and what a strike it was.
Yeah, it's a really, really good effort, wasn't it? It's a moment of brilliance, I think we'll call it, and does seem to be the only real difference between the two sides at the moment.
It does indeed. I do think, though, that the wind is having an enormous effect. Paul White can't get the ball out of his half on the goal kicks. It's hanging in the air. It should be a better second half, in theory, weather-wise, for the Poppies, who've seen all the elements of snow, sleet and rain this afternoon. But, yeah, it's our first look at Stourbridge, my first of them since I think it was 2013. What do you make of them so far?
Oh, good side. They're a very good side. Like I say, it's difficult to judge how well players are going to do and teams are going to do today, because the conditions just don't allow us to play. I think, what was it, a couple of seasons ago, or was it last year, I can't remember, we drew 0-0 to Coventry City here.
Coventry? Cambridge
City, sorry. I knew it was one of the... Yeah. But yeah, it was January, wasn't it? And it just wasn't good to watch football in. The wind really affected it. It's much like this game. Although, I'll be honest, Stourbridge have had some really good opportunities, and if it hadn't been for Paul White, or maybe them just leaning back a little bit, I think Stourbridge probably should be in this match.
The player for me that's been the star for them has been Luke Bember, the number 9. He's caused all sorts of problems. He's been involved in all their attacks along with Westlake and Thompson Brown, as we mentioned, but I think prior to the game. They've also got to bring Greg Milnes on in the second half, I would think. It's anybody's game yet, though, isn't it?
It is, and like I've just said, Stourbridge could easily have equalised in that first half. So they're going to make life difficult for themselves now because they are against the wind, and they are going to have to battle with that. Whereas maybe they should have been taking some more pot shots. They had a couple, but they probably should have had some more in the first half with the wind behind them and trouble Paul White. So second half they're going to be up against it. They're going to have to play a lot more football on the ground, and Kettering can be. This is where it will suit Kettering, keeping players like Andre Borg and Reece Honus on, because they can hit the ball up and the ball will carry in the wind. It'll go over the back four and it'll have one of them two to chase onto it.
It's surprising, though, that the only goal of the game so far came from Ben Toseland. That's not a surprise that it's Ben Toseland, but it was a wonderful long-range shot against the wind that nestled in that top right-hand corner of James Wren. You will see that on our highlights package, and it'll be a wonderful goal when you do see it. Yeah,
it was an absolute wonder strike, and that's like I say, that really is the only difference between the two sides at the moment. It's a very even game, but when you have even games, it is usually a moment of brilliance that separates the two teams.
It is indeed, and Kettering with a very strong bench as well, with Michael Richards, Lyndon Meikle, Aaron O'Connor, Marcus Kelly and the reserve goalkeeper Lewis Elmson. So there's some talent to bring on, isn't there?
There is. That's one of the strongest benches I think we've had for a very long time. I would be hesitant if I was Marcus Law to try Aaron O'Connor in a game like this, especially if it stays 1-0 and Stourbridge are going to start to really push on. They'll start taking some chances, but I think the conditions really wouldn't suit Aaron O'Connor. The ground's going to be slippy, especially with a knee problem as well. He takes one awkward slip on there and he's not 100% fit, and he could be out for a little bit longer. And we'll see how the game progresses, though. That's why Marcus gets paid to make the decisions and we don't. He may feel that Aaron O'Connor could do with maybe a 10-minute run out towards the end. It all depends on what happens in the second half. If we're comfortably winning, or only just winning, or drawing, or losing, it could all depend. But I don't think Stourbridge will be looking forward to any of those coming onto the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah, we had 30 minutes of O'Connor in ideal conditions at Aldershot last week. It was sublime and ridiculous. It was nice and warm and sunny, t-shirt weather at the recreation ground, or the EBB Stadium as they call it, and here it's back to January, February, freezing cold.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Aaron O'Connor immediately showed his class when he came on. He had that one-on-one, a brilliant save from the goalkeeper. That's not taking anything away from him. That really was at 1-0. That was a huge save. And he held the ball up well. He immediately looked a class above, if you see what I mean. He turned on the pitch straight away, not 100% fit, and ran the show. And we can talk about the other decisions and things that happened at Aldershot, but really it was nice to see Aaron O'Connor back and playing well as well. It wasn't a half an hour run out where he got on the ball one or two times. He was in the thick of it, and he really did look dangerous as well.
He did indeed, and just if this game should be a draw at the end of today's 90 minutes, the replay will be on Monday at the War Memorial Athletic Ground, and it'll be a Monday, not a Tuesday. So just make sure that you pencil in your books. If
just make sure that we don't draw.
Just make sure we don't draw. But also it will be Monday, 7:45 kickoff at the War Memorial Athletic Ground in Stourbridge. So just in case that should happen, let's hope that doesn't happen. We've got some interesting fixtures coming up soon. Next week, Ed and myself will be at Needham Market for the first game against them ever. We've then got Kings Lynn Town at home in the League Cup second round. We have Colville at home, maybe. It depends if we're still involved in the FA Trophy, or if Colville Town are. So that game, home game there, could be wiped out depending on what happens in this competition. Then on 17th of November, we're away at Royston, which should prove an interesting. It was last season, if you remember correctly, the melee at the end, and it was a cracking game. It was like a cup tie, and Royston seemed to be one of the top sides.
I believe their manager's been talking about us as well, hasn't he?
In the press, on social media,
saying that he believes that they're going to beat us, and we're going to know that we're going to have been in for a game. So that'll be interesting to see how he's feeling after the end of that match.
It is indeed. Then Tuesday the 20th of November, it's back here again at Latimer Park with Stourbridge. Yes, we play them again. very, very soon. And then on the final Saturday of November, it's at Rush Hall Olympic away. And of course, all these games are due to FA Trophy and League Cup results. They could all change. So keep your eyes out on our social media, our official website, our YouTube channels, and Facebook, of course, for all the information regarding Poppy's games. And highlights of this game will be made available, as will the interviews post-game, also as normal. And if you are watching this on YouTube, which or listening to it, should I say, on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already to our channel. If we can get over 1,000 subscribers, then we can start making a bit of Johnny Cash for the club, as we've lost our revenue from streaming live games on Saturdays. Won't go into that, but there we have it. So yeah, Stourbridge are going to want to show us what they made of the second half. As Ed says, it's going to be an interesting second half with the wind in Kettering's favour. I think the referee has had a little bit of an impact.
Yeah, he's been a little bit whistle happy. I think he seems to be stopping the game and making some questionable decisions. But so did the one last week. And you know, it's important not to give yourselves the opportunity to blame the referee. And on Saturday, last Saturday, we couldn't blame the referee really, although he had a big hand in a few decisions. You know, Kettering also had 3 glorious opportunities, which would have made it 3-2. So it's all about the performance really. You can't come off the pitch, and if you've only got the referee to blame after a performance, then it shows that you've not performed well, because you should be able to still make chances regardless of the referee. That's not the case 100% of the time, obviously, but it is 98% of the time. So that's really got to be a factor for Kettering. They've not going to allow this referee to run the game and ruin what is going to be a good win if they do carry on. And it's interesting to see, obviously, the fringe or second string players that Kettering have got out. I mean, so Edmund Hotter isn't a regular starter, but he's come in and done fantastically. Andrea Borg doesn't tend to start that often, although he's working his way into the start 11. Luke Graham as well is often a substitute. He's come in, and you know, this isn't, with no disrespect to any of the players out there, this isn't Kettering's strongest team they could put out. You've still got Lyndon Meikle on the bench, you've still got Richards on the bench, Aaron O'Connor, Marcus Kelly are all on the bench today, and we are looking comfortable against a good Stourbridge side with this team out. It does make you wonder that in 3 weeks time, 2.5, 3 weeks, you know, if we've got all of our players fit and a full strength side, what we could actually do against this Stourbridge team.
There's also players like Gary Storer, who's injured. Yeah. He won't be available.
James
I wouldn't have thought.
Brighton,
James Brighton is of course going to come in. That's going to be 2 new players almost coming into the side. So Kettering keeping their squad together, really. It's not a large squad, but it's a very good squad. They seem very much as a unit, don't they? They seem very much together. In the time I've been watching Kettering, since we've been demoted from the conference, it's the best sort of atmospheric Kettering side that I've seen since we won the league.
Oh yeah, I mean let's talk also about Ben Toseland, who's not been starting recently. You know, he's putting his name right in the hat there, isn't he? With a goal as well, and you know, you've got the fact that we spoke to him. I think it was last season. During last season, he was relegated to the bench a bit, and you know, it was sort of the case of how's he going to react, and he turned round to us and said, you know, I just fully understand it's the manager's decision. I've got to work hard to make sure that he doesn't have the choice to make, and it's only going to be my name there. And you know, he's got his opportunity today. He's got a cracking goal. He's not played badly either. So you know, that's going to be a headache for Marcus Law come next Saturday. Because if he plays like that in the second half, he may very well find himself in the starting lineup again.
Yep, it's pressure for places, and that's what you want. You don't want players thinking, I mean, each week do you want pressure for places, and you want to keep that shirt being the most valued thing that they can pull over their chests each game. And hopefully we're getting that with this Kettering Town team, who are top of the league at the moment. And at the moment they lead this game 1-0 at half-time. 45 minutes though is a long time in football. Anything can happen, as we know. As one famous manager said, it takes a second to score a goal, and they need to do that Yes.
So it's just listening to the weather out there on our porter cabin. It's absolutely atrocious.
It's hammering down. I can see the Stourbridge fans, or in fact the Kettering fans now, who've changed ends into tin hat, all cuddled up there.
Dare we say abandoned game?
I don't think it will be abandoned.
No, I don't think it will
either. The ground
either.
hasn't had that much rain on it over the last few months, but certainly if this continued for a few days, a few weeks, then I think we'd be under a bit of pressure with that. But at the moment we're not. Not sure if the players are out yet. I can't see.
I don't envy those who are going to be commentating in the second half. I'll tell you that now.
Well, I thought about offering you the chance.
Well, no, I've got to do Twitter.
Have you? So, right. So you don't fancy going out there then?
Well, I would love to, but I have other duties that I need to attend to. Else I would.
Yes,
I would.
Yes, I know you would, but two of us will be braving the elements out there for the second half, which hopefully will be a Kettering Town win, which would put paid to the Colville Town home fixture on Saturday the 10th of November.
I believe the players are making their way out of the tunnel now, I think. So
yes, and I shall wait here as long as I can before I join Gary Foreman upstairs, try and get some warmth back into these bones. But it is a good first half for the Poppies against a very good Stourbridge side. So we are just going to something in my ear there. I've got a little buzzing, I think it was it.
Yes.
But there we go. So we shall be going up there in a few moments, and for the second half, and as I say, we'll be at Needham Market, Ed and myself, next week for our first league fixture in seems for ages, to be honest.
Yes, yeah. It's like you say, we've had now a week of just pure cup football, haven't we?
Pure cup football. We'll be hoping to speak to Marcus Law, one of the managerial team, after today's game, and also hopefully one of the players, and bring you that in our highlights package, which you'll be able to see later in the week. You can hear it, of course, on here when we do it live. So you can hear it, but you can't see it yet. So just bear with us on that. And of course, as I say, subscribe please to our YouTube channel. And you can see all the highlights, all the interviews, all our archive footage on the Poppies TV website, which is developing quite nicely. We've actually had the highest amount of hits this month than ever before, beating the Hereford December month last year. So that's fantastic. Long may that continue. Right, I'm going to hand you over to Gary Foreman, who's just been chipping off the ice of blocks off his feet at half-time in with the directors having a cup of char, and I'll be joining him for the second half. It's Kettering Town 1, Stourbridge 0, live here from Poppies TV Audio.
Welcome back to the second half, just kicked off here at Latimer Park. Kettering Town 1 up against Stourbridge. We have made one substitution at half-time. Edmund Hotter has come off the pitch, and Lyndon Meikle has gone on. So like-for-like swap really in midfield. And Stourbridge with an early free kick launched forward into the Kettering penalty area. Bouncing around on the edge, Thompson Brown with the cross in over the head of Cayman Anderson though, and Kelly Evans picks up the ball, plays it forward but intercepted, and here come Stourbridge again, passing the ball around in the centre of the defence to McCone, out to Brown, striding forward into the Kettering half. Flick on by Ford, but goes nowhere, only to Declan Towers. Long ball forward, and Risonis was offside. No changes for Stourbridge. It still remains a very cold, wet and windy afternoon. The only difference now, though, with the teams chained around, is Kettering will have the benefit of the wind at their backs. Free kick goes forward, away from danger from Towers. Milnes flicks the ball forward, Borg heads it on, but no further Kettering Town player ahead, and McCone clears for Stourbridge. Looped up into the air, into the wind. Borg picks up the ball, tries to find Honus, intercepted by Hayden, but it breaks for Ben Toseland in midfield. Tries to get the ball out to the right with Kelly Evans, but Christopherson is in the way, and he has won a throw-in on the far side to Stourbridge. Brown plays the ball forward to the halfway line, away by Luke Graham. Ford in midfield for Stourbridge, now plays it out to Hayden on the right hand side. Hayden striding forward onto Westlake, 1-2 with Hayden. Hayden looking to get the crossing, which he does, and Paul White catches fairly comfortably.
The ball back in place with play. Meikle puts the ball on the far wide there for Kelly Evans. He plays it to Mills. Mills picks through, in a good run here from Kelly Evans, but he can't keep it, and he's being marshalled by Jordan Brown, and it's a throw-in to the away side. Have I turned up for the second half? I'm not quite sure.
Home, away. It's all the same, it's football.
So Meikle trying to thread his way through, beaten to it by Fonde, but the ball back with Mills. Mills feeding through Borg, but it's hit too hard, and Paul McCone lets the ball go out of play for a goal kick. Wren taking too much time and didn't release early. Aaron O'Connor out warming up, and these two in these conditions. Not so heavy rain now, but still pretty cool. Wren still hasn't got the ball back into play. A lot of shouting going on, and Wren gets the ball back. He does get it over the halfway line as the wind seems to have died down, dropped slightly. Towers loses the ball though, feeds through, and he goes down. Out comes Paul White, does well, and referee brings play back for a foul. Paul White does exceptionally well there. That was good work from White, but referees brought it back. It was a foul by Mills. It's going to be a free kick as the management from Stourbridge getting a bit aerated. Free kick then midway in the Kettering half. In it comes, high towards the back post. Turner heads out, but only towards Bembo. Bembo turns, it comes off Luke Graham. It's back in by Micon, and or
Missoni even.
And Paul White catches and delivers the ball, but puts it out of play, giving Honus no chance whatsoever. But he's certainly got more direction with the ball, with the wind in this half, as we said. Mentosa grinning at us from down below. Throw in to Stourbridge. In the play comes, it's towards Anderson, but it's won by Westlake. Back to Westlake, plays the ball towards Anderson, but Turner gets there, feeds it through. Mekong gets the ball away to Bembo. He finds Brown. Brown, little turn there, beats Mills easily to Fond. Fond, he puts the ball through to Brown. He gives it to Toseland. Toseland, a long ball towards Honus, the only one up for Kettering. He turns well, feeds the ball through to Borg. Borg on his own, he goes down, nothing given by the referee, but he finds Ben Mills. Ben Mills might try a shot, he doesn't. Meikle might this time, that's the penalty area. Gives it to Kelly Evans, offside, and unlucky there for Kettering as the number 6 at 4 days still is down. But good movement from Kettering, just the end result, the final phase of football, not the correct one. The flag of the linesman going up on the far side, but good work from Youngborg.
Yeah, he's looked very lively, as he usually does when he comes on for Kettering. Got the start today, and he has started well. And good interaction there in Kettering Town's midfield. It's going to be an interesting second half. I'd expect Kettering to probably play on the break. and you'd expect Stourbridge obviously to increase the pressure as the half goes on, as they chase the equaliser.
Salkeld heads the ball back from Ray's goal kick, but only towards Brown. Brown though finds Meikle. McCone gets the ball, he's afflicted through, it's a bit scrappy, but Meikle gets the ball back, loses it straight away to the number 8 Broadhurst. He puts the ball towards Anderson, Anderson under pressure from Luke Graham. Graham does well, gets the ball to Kelly Evans, long ball down, but it's too heavy, and that's gone out for a throw-in to the visitors on the far side by the Kettering Town football stand near the Ken signs. That's £5 please Ken, and his sign there beaming out under the floodlights. Pinched us a few yards, much to the disgust of the Kettering fans, but it allows to go on. Bembo flicks the ball on, only to Towers. Towers gets the ball, but Broadhurst fires it back into Fond. Fond squares it. The ball's going to reach Westlake. Westlake now the bit of pace inside the penalty area here. Might try a shot. Ball comes in unmarked, but Salkeld does well as Kettering now break away with Ben Milnes. Milnes finds a Ray Honus. Honus has only got Borg up with him. It's Honus now into the penalty area. He comes inside. He might go one way. He does. Goes the other. Might try a shot. Squares it towards Milnes. Milnes has to try and play the ball through to Meikle on the far side. Meikle shoots. Comes off the number 3 and goes for a Kettering Town corner. Couldn't quite get into the correct position to shoot Ben Milnes or Rhys Honus. Meikle did, and it came off a defender, ricocheting off for a corner, the first in the second half for Kettering with the wind. Let's see what they can do from this set piece.
Yeah, good defending from Stourbridge. They weren't going to be trying to put a challenge in on Rhys Honus, just guided him away, and the ball ended up with Lyndon Meikle on the far hand side, deflected out for the corner, and the first change coming up here for Stourbridge. And it looks like Mr. Forday's day is over. It is, as he hops off on one leg. It's a 30-yard hop race.
Almost Python-esque, isn't it?
The Black Knight.
Yes. It's going to be then Ben Toseland with this corner on the far side. It should curl in if he whips it in to his advantage. Got a good footers, Ben Toseland, so let's see what he can do with this as the rain now coming down.
Brad Birch is the substitute who's on now for Stourbridge, number 14.
So Toseland, good in-swinging corner, back post towards Graham, but he can't control it. It comes off Graham's head, he still has it, and it comes off him for a goal kick. James Wren then with the goal kick. No changes for Kettering Town yet. All out there in the cold, warming up. Salkeld loses that header, but the ball finds Ben Toseland, who's changed sides, flicking the ball through towards Borg, but beaten by McCone. He finds Westlake. Westlake, long searching ball towards Anderson, but Roturner beats him to it. In comes Thompson Brown, beaten by Roturner to Ben Milnes. Now Milnes, and it looked like Honus didn't go that time. He would have been onside if he'd have chanced his luck, but he didn't. And away comes Stourbridge. It comes off Honus for a throw on the halfway line near to where we're commentating from. Westlake, he finds Bembo. Bembo turns, he finds a substitute Birch. Birch, a good ball to Westlake. Westlake on the wide right side here, puts into Bembo. Bembo puts one in. Salkeld can't get there. Meikle can, flicks it out. Only Borg up front. Borg loses the ball to Brown. He finds Bembo. Bembo with a bit of space. Little flick there. He's dangerous, is Bembo. Might try a shot, does. And Paul White in the centre of his goal there catches easily, but it was a bit dangerous there. It looks like Aaron O'Connor might be warming up to come on as the ball is back in the Stourbridge half. It is Honus. He loses the ball. He stopped, and away comes Westlake. Westlake. He finds Broadhurst. Broadhurst, a long ball towards Birch on the far side, and Meikle brings the number 11 Anderson down. It's going to be a free kick about 4 or 5 yards outside the penalty area on the left-hand side. It's a chance for Stourbridge. It may be a little further than 4 or 5 yards, to be honest. My eyesight is obviously failing in these floodlights, but it's a fair distance out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, probably 24 yards, I think, Paul.
Well, I got the 4 part right. No.
You did get the 4 bit right.
So then, free kick to the visitors as Kettering Town are preparing to make a change. It looks like Richards might be coming on, actually, but in comes the free kick. Turner away and offside given. And it is going to be Aaron O'Connor, in fact, who is coming on to make his second appearance.
Yep. Aaron O'Connor, who got a run out for 20 minutes at Aldershot last weekend. He's going to get a little bit longer in this particular game, and it's Andrea Borg who is making way, number 17, and it's going to be a double substitution actually for Kettering. Michael Richens is also stripped and is ready to come on. We just waited to see which number goes up for Richens to come on, and it is Mr. Kettering Town, Brett Solken, who is making way, hands over the captain's armbands to Michael Richens. So that's all 3 subs now done for Kettering already.
Paul White with the goal kick then. Richards might get his first touch. He does. He flicks it on towards Honus. Honus plays the ball back to Toseland. Toseland plays the ball back there in the Kettering's half, and it's a rather poor ball, putting Turner under pressure. He's missed it, and away comes Anderson. There might be a chance here for the home side. Luke Graham comes over. He goes to the other side of Luke Graham, puts the ball through, but Paul White collects the ball at his kneecaps and rolls the ball out to Declan Towers. A mistake there from Turner, giving Stourbridge a chance which they didn't take. Towers, though, feeds the ball in towards O'Connor. O'Connor beaten to it this time, though. Ball with Brown on the far side. Brown still the ball, being hassled by Milnes, who then is chopped down, and the referee's given it the other way. Unbelievable refereeing once again from this clown. And unbelievable. And it's going to be another substitution, this time for the visitors. It's going to be Westlake coming off and Chicken Steel coming on.
Chicken Steel?
Chicken Steel and chips.
Let's call him Chicane, shall we? A rather unusual name. Chicane Steel. Number 15 sprints onto the pitch. It's always a good start. It's definitely sprinting onto the pitch weather today.
So still 1-0 to the Poppies. That goal scored on 15 minutes by Ben Toseland, and what a great goal that was. You'll see that on our highlights package. The ball is played in towards Bembo. Bembo can't direct his header as Kelly Evans clears the ball through, and if that had gone through, Honus was away, but it didn't. And away comes the new substitute. He plays it back to Hayden. Hayden cut out though by Milnes. Milnes feeds the ball through towards Honus. There's O'Connor up front now. Honus might have a chance to run here. He can't. He has to turn. Milnes is putting over an overlap for him. Doesn't use him. Comes inside. Might try a shot. Can't. Flicks it to Richens. Richens feeds the ball on the far side now to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans comes inside the penalty area. Checks. Goes the other way. Falls over though. And easily for Christopherson to clear the ball. Danger averted to Anderson, who can only give the ball away to Richens. Richens though flicks the ball, and that should go to Christopherson. It does. He finds Birch. Birch off Richens. It's a bit scrappy as Meikle gets the ball back to Towers. Towers trying to put the ball through to O'Connor. It's cut out. Broadhurst takes the advantage and plays the ball out, I thought, but no, linesman not giving it. Very tight over there on that line. Ball through to Ben Milnes. Ben Milnes has got O'Connor with him. O'Connor and the number 2. The number 2 wins it. Might go out for a corner. It doesn't. Here's Milnes. Milnes plays it low but cut out. Anything missed there, and that was number 2 for Kettering, but it was easily cleared. The ball is now with Bembo. He finds Steele. Steele has just come on. He goes down, and it's a foul by Turner, much to the disgust of the Kettering players. The referee's given it, but it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Hayden puts a very long ball that's going to go out of play, and it does, and that's a throw in by the corner flag on our right hand side, who taken by Ben Toseland. Rain ceased at the moment, which is I don't know, it's still coming down. Thought it stopped. I was hoping.
No, it's going to be perennial rain today, I think, Paul. It's certainly less than it was first half, I'll give you that much.
So Bembo to Steele. Steele has got a bit of pace about him. He's being challenged by Toseland. It comes off Toseland on the cross, and it is a corner to Stourbridge. Thompson Brown walks over to take it as the Stourbridge fans begin to find a bit of voice. They all camp behind Paul White's goal. So Thompson Brown trying to keep the ball still. In it comes high, headed out. It's a ricochet there, and that just went inches wide. There's a bit of a melee. It's gone off a Kettering Town foot for another corner. I thought that was in the equaliser. No one tended to move for that on the 6-yard box, and it trickled by. It came off a Kettering Town foot and goes for a second corner. So pressure here from Stourbridge, the Glass Boys. It's number 10 again. Thompson Brown puts it in. This time it's headed in, headed out by Towers. And under Bembo pressure here is Milnes, clears it. Bembo though still has the ball outside the penalty area, has to be enforced back. Puts a good ball though to Thompson Brown, who's stayed there from the corner, but he does a double entendre, falls over, and a pirouette that one is for Paul Knowles, if you're listening, and it has gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure there on the Kettering goal, 2 corners. The first one was Jordan Brown over the header, and I'm not quite sure which Kettering Town leg it came off, but they didn't know much about it, trickled wide. The second one, Misson missed his header, and we were able to scramble the ball clear. But yep, I think that's a sign of things to come. I think I fully expect Stourbridge to increase the pressure now.
So O'Connor has lost that ball to McCone, and Meikle can't win that. Stourbridge putting a bit of pressure on Kettering. Referee decided it's a foul by Richens. Quickly taken to Bembo. Bembo flicking the ball in just out of the penalty area here. Graham and Towers hoof the ball away. It's another corner. Very, very dangerous at the moment are Stourbridge. It's going to be Broadhurst with this corner. He's going to leave it though for Thompson Brown, who put the last 2 corners in that have caused a few problems in that 6-yard box. And once again Kettering facing a challenge here is Thompson Brown, who shot his wife the other day, flicks the ball in, headed out by Towers, but it only goes towards Steele. He gets there before O'Connor, but he loses out to O'Connor. O'Connor does well, he's got nobody with him. Honus is offside, Meikle comes in. There's a foul on O'Connor, missed by the referee again. And away comes Ben Milnes. He's only got Rhys Honus with him, but he beats them easily. In comes Ben Milnes now. Milnes has got Toseland. Poor ball though from Ben Milnes. There was nobody there, and it goes out for a goal kick. He could have done better there.
Yeah, he could have done better. Should have done better really. Ben Toseland had made a good run into the penalty box, and if it had got his head up a little bit earlier, then that was the ball to play. As it was, he kept his head down and then put the ball to the far post, and unfortunately there was no Kettering player running in on that angle. So Steele has the ball, he passes it to Bembo. Good work here from Bembo, good work here from 14. Birch comes through, Paul White is going to shepherd that out for a goal kick, but Stourbridge moving the ball around rather well. Good Pythagoras theory here for them, the old triangles. Glenn Hoddle loved that, wouldn't he? Triangles. And yeah, they're a good side, Stourbridge. They're a good passing side. They've got a little bit about everything. Solid unit, and you know, the goal apart, they probably edged it on play today.
Goal kick by Paul White, but only to Steele. He heads the ball back to Roe Turner, puts a hopeful ball towards Rhys Honus. Honus though beaten by McCone. Flicked on. Meikle chests it down, does well under pressure. Meikle still with the ball, comes inside. He's got Rhys Honus in front of him, but in comes McCone to clear it towards Bembo. He chests it down. Good work there, and away come the visitors, and it's going to be a foul here. Don't watch out by Richens. You can see that one coming all the way. He was nudging the number 8 there, Broadhurst, all the time. The referee was waiting for the foul, and Richens obliged and it is a free kick to Stourbridge, halfway in the Kettering side, mid-centre of Latimer Park on our right-hand side, kicking towards the Brian Martin Pallets stand. Another fiver, please, Brian, for that little mention there. It is free kick, comes in towards the back post. Paul White looking at this one, it's hanging in the air. He's going to be cleared by Richards, which it is. It goes towards O'Connor. O'Connor flicks it to Meikle. Meikle comes inside, back to O'Connor. O'Connor now with space and time. He's got plenty of space to run at here. Kettering rushing forward. The thin red line flicked in through here. There's Meikle flicked in. Oh, how didn't touch that in. It goes right on the back post. Tozen, all he had to do was touch it. The ball was in the net. Great movement from Kettering. How that didn't go in, I do not know.
Yeah, Ben Tozen should have had two there. It was a lovely ball in from Aaron O'Connor. Couple of Kettering Town players the chance to get on the end of it, but Ben Tozen surely had the best opportunity, the last man coming in from the back post. It almost sort of ran under his foot.
And Stourbridge making their final substitution. It is Greg Mills coming on for the Glass Boys. Departing is Robbie Thompson-Brown.
Ex-Corby. Greg Mills.
Corby, yes. Hopefully he won't do anything this afternoon. But ball back in play as Mills wins the header. Only to Broadhurst. Comes down, but well won by row turner to Meikle. Flicks the ball on towards O'Connor. O'Connor can't get there. Meikle can. It comes off O'Connor. Ricochets to Brown. The ball high in the air again as Turner underneath it. He can only find Broadhurst. He finds Greg Mills, who gets his first touch. Plays out Christopherson Wide, who puts the ball out for a throw-in. Beaten to it as Kelly Evans now runs down on the touchline on the far side to retrieve the ball. Kettering should be 2-0 ahead with that glorious chance there. They needed a little touch and it was in, but not to be. Throw-in taken by Evans to O'Connor, back to Evans. Evans low loses the ball and away comes Benbow, squares it on the halfway line. It could be good movement, good work though from Toseland, but he gives the ball straight to Stourbridge. It's good work from Stourbridge, flicking the ball through. Paul White comes out to stop the danger. Marcus Law out there furious with the side at the moment. Marcus very, very loud indeed his displeasure.
Yeah, he's quite rightly a little bit annoyed there. It was Kettering throw and all of a sudden it's Stourbridge on the attack. So just wants Kettering to up their work rate a little bit now.
O'Connor flicks the ball through and away comes Rhys Honus. He could try a strike in the penalty area. Goes one way, flicks it square. O'Connor can't get there and cleared by Brown, but only towards Richards, who stabs at it. It's found Meikle somehow on the edge of the penalty area on the far side. Kettering still with possession. Got the overlapping Kelly Evans. He could use him. He doesn't. Puts the ball square towards Mills. Mills tries a shot in. It ricochets off Steele and goes for a Kettering throw-in on our left-hand side by our photographer Peter Short, who looks really cold down there. It is freezing cold here as the temperatures are plummeted, as they said they would do. It's a heavy touch from Ben Toseland, and Ben Mills can't keep that in, and it is a throw-in to Stourbridge. So 75 minutes gone. That seemed to have gone very, very quickly, and the ball has gone out for a goal kick.
Yep. Marcus again urging on his players. He wants the up that work rate, and particularly around the midfield area where we seem to have been giving the ball around a little bit cheaply at the moment.
So the number 12, Kelly Evans and Greg Mills fighting out. It's Mills though winning it. Puts the ball in towards Benbow, but Paul White comes out on his penalty spot, takes the ball, delivers a good ball this time, but it's going to go straight to McCone. Heads it high though. That's a poor header. O'Connor's underneath this one, but can't get there. Meikle can. Meikle inside the centre circle feeds Ben Toseland on the right-hand side here, left-hand side, sorry. He flicks the ball to Ben Mills. Mills inside back to Toseland. Toseland has to play the ball square to Meikle. Meikle, no yardage gain really. They're just playing the ball backwards and forwards at the moment. But Meikle flicks the ball through towards Ben Toseland. Can Toseland get there before the advancing Meikle? He can't. And he hoofs that ball out for a throw-in to the Poppies. as time is marching on here at Latimer Park. It's still 1-0. Toseland then with the throw-in midway in the Stourbridge half. Not a lot on for him. He finds Richens, and it comes off Brown for another Kettering throw-in from virtually the same place. Toseland takes it. He finds O'Connor. Back to Toseland. Back to O'Connor. O'Connor looks up, squares the ball to Meikle. Meikle now puts a long square ball towards Towers. Towers finds Kelly Evans on the far side. He finds Ben Milnes. Milnes needs to turn. He turns, in fact, to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans plays a through ball to O'Connor. Little good flick there to Milnes. Milnes, O'Connor goes down. It comes off O'Connor as he fell down. And nothing given again from the referee. Looked like a push, but not really quite sure on that one. But I am quite biased on this, as Luke Graham now has to defend and almost takes out Richard Atkinson with that one. And in the cameras, it just goes over our commentary gantry, a foot lower, and Mr. Atkinson would be in trouble with that. But it is Hayden now.
Yeah, that could have been the end of the highlights package.
It could be, as Bembo got the ball. Little flick there from Bembo, still a very talented player. He finds Birch. Birch puts up in the ball forward towards Anderson, but out comes Paul White, very alert, calms it down, tells the back four, calm down, I have the ball. Ball then pumped high into the evening sky underneath Bocconi, flicks it down. O'Connor might try a snapshot here, chests it down, comes inside O'Connor, still O'Connor, fires a low one, and diving save by James Wren. I think he half hit it, O'Connor. I think Wren was taken by surprise at his near post, tips it round for a corner.
Yeah, it looked an easier save than it actually turned out to be. As you say, O'Connor seemed to hit his shot into the ground more than anything, but that was great hold-up play from Aaron there. He just turned his man to get the ball onto his left foot, and a first-time strike, and that's a sign that he's hopefully getting a little bit of sharpness back to his game.
Ben Toseland with the corner, looping in swinging corner towards Graham at the back post. Graham gets there, and it comes off the goalkeeper, and referee gives a corner.
Yep,
Stourbridge not happy with that, but it was the right decision.
Yep, Wren definitely got a hand to that, right on the post.
So Ben Mills' opportunity now to whip the ball in on the left-hand side.
Got a new ball girl.
Ah, yes, a new ball girl down there. Bringing the ball back in comes at Ben Mills' back post, then goalkeeper Wren does well, takes it, bowls the ball out, and away comes Birch, but intercepted by Toseland, who just rifles it back and does well. Can't really control that, but he put it out. It's a goal kick. Does well as Kettering Town umbrella goes inside out due to the weather. Wren then with the goal kick. Richens beaten to it by Birch, and away comes Steele. He's got the chasing Toseland. He puts the ball in, and Toseland has to put the ball out for a corner. So Stourbridge getting away there with a set piece that might not needed to have happened if Toseland could have just put the ball out.
Yeah, I thought he had a chance to put it out for a throw-in rather than a corner, but that's what we have to face now.
So it's Greg Milnes who's going to be taking this. In it comes Paul White, punches the ball out, finds Milnes in the penalty spot. Milnes just hooks the ball away towards O'Connor. O'Connor can't get there. Away comes Bembo though, he can get there. He flicks the ball back to Hayden. Long ball. Toseland leaves it for Roturner, who trying to find Honus, but it finds Meikle, can't control it. It's gone a bit scrappy in these conditions. Bembo wins the ball. It is with Birch over the halfway line. Back to Bembo. Foot in there by Milnes. Finds Brown, and away comes Broadhurst. Squares the ball to Hayden. Hayden putting a long ball in the penalty area. No, he tries a low ball. Richens traps it and feeds Meikle. Meikle now trying to set away Rhys Honus, but it needs to be a racehorse to get that, and it goes out for a throw-in. It's going to be taken by Paul McCone. Referee telling him to go back. As the wind bites in at Latimer Park. Steele wins the ball. He finds McCone. McCone just outside his own penalty area over the D. It's a long ball, but Towers and number 12 Milnes fighting for it. Richins wins the ball back, gets it to Honus. Now catching with a chance here. They've got Meikle one side, he's got O'Connor the other side. He's going to run through himself. He goes down. In comes. It's a goal. Yeah, it was a good work there from Rhys Honus, who fed the ball through the 6-yard box. There was the lurking O'Connor, who rifled it in, but the flag was up. I said it was going to be a good move from Kettering. It was all but the flag from the linesman. And of course, I'm going to say that wasn't offside.
I think it probably was, because there wasn't one Kettering player that was disagreeing with that decision, including Aaron O'Connor, who was the man who was flagged.
At least for those watching, O'Connor finished it with aplomb and didn't miss the target, so he's getting
Fox
that
in the box.
Fox in the box. He's getting that match fitness back. It's a free kick to Stourbridge, just inside their own half on the far side of the pitch. Comes in towards the penalty area. Bembo and Towers underneath it. Bembo wins it. He finds that Milnes. Milnes certainly been a handful since he's come on. He's being challenged by Towers, and Milnes go down. Towers can't believe the referee has given a foul for that, but he has. It's not too far from the corner flag. It's quickly taken by Bembo. Fires one in. It comes off Milnes. Ricochets for a corner. So we're getting ever nearer to the final whistle. But still plenty of action here in this game. Plenty of time for a goal to be scored. What we don't want is a draw. So free kick, still taking this free kick. Sorry, corner. Comes in ahead of there and being urged to get out, but it is Broadhurst with the ball. Still Broadhurst, he finds Bembo being challenged by Toseland. Bembo wins it back though. Has to play the ball back into his own half. In comes the ball again from Christopherson. He finds McCone, but Toseland should clear this. He takes his time, looks up, plays a long ball towards O'Connor. If it beats the Stourbridge player, O'Connor's in. And it was rather lucky for the number 14 there. He headed the ball back to Wren, who just kept it in from going for a corner.
Yeah, Wren was alert, to be fair to him, and fortunately the throw out was not so alert by him, so it's actually gone out for a Kettering throw right on the far hand side, which Dion Kelly Evans will take to Michael Richins, back to Kelly Evans and back to Richins again, playing a little 1-2 over there at the moment. And then the ball goes forward. Aaron O'Connor with the flick on, but cut out by Masson at the heart of the Stourbridge defence. Oh, bad touch there from Brown, Hayden, sorry, but got away with a handball there, we think. Referee waving play on, and Towers releases Milnes on the left hand side. Can he put a cross in this time, find the man? He can. Rhys Honus, yes! What a good goal that was from Kettering. Milnes there actually found his man spot on this time. It was Rhys Honus with a sort of a flick header at the front post, and that is now Kettering Town 2, Stourbridge 0.
Don't know if you heard that from our announcer there, but it is attendance today is 409 as Rhys Honus scores his 11th goal of the season, and not a penalty. So
nope, not a penalty.
He's doing some sort of Peter Crouch type effort there. Do you see that sort of celebration? Yep. I'm not quite sure what it was, but
I think it's because he scored with his head. He's not known for that.
But it was a great goal. Again, you can see that on our highlights package later. That should ease Kettering into the next round of the Cup as O'Connor gets the ball in the halfway line. He turns. He's got a few options here. Tries to find Ben Milnes. He does. Toseland's going down the centre. Milnes doesn't use him. He has to play the ball backwards. He doesn't. He tries to find Kelly Evans on the far side. He does. Good trap there from Kelly Evans, who turns on the far side. He's got Christopherson in front of him. In comes Kelly Evans. Is he going to put one through? He finds a squared ball to Milnes. Milnes to Toseland. Toseland lets rip, fires one, and a good effort there from Toseland. Well caught by James Wren, but Toseland not afraid to have a pop, and he scored one great goal already this afternoon. And if that had gone in, that would have been another beauty, as Hayden heads the ball back into the Kettering mix. Benbow, their star player, loses the ball to Meikle, and the referee has given a foul by Milnes on Benbow, and in fact it was Richens, sorry. Referee having a word with Richens. Not going into the book. If you are listening, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more we get up to 1,000, the better. We're on 781 the last time I looked, so 219 away. So please subscribe. Free kick taken by Christopherson, in there, headed on by McCone, and Paul White does well, comes out, averts the danger. Kettering Town 2, Stourbridge 0, goal in each half for the Poppers, as progression in the FA Trophy seems assured, as Paul White kicks the ball out towards O'Connor, but he's beaten to it by Christopherson. He can head it towards Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans loses the ball. It comes off a Stourbridge player, which is Brown, and doesn't agree with the decision from the linesman, to the ironic cheers of the Kettering fans over there. Tosses the ball back, and Kelly Evans delivers it to O'Connor. Back to Kelly Evans to O'Connor. Back to Kelly Evans to O'Connor. Oh no, this time it is to Richens, to Milnes. Milnes has got Roturner one way. O'Connor can't get there, but Meikle can. He left it. Meikle putting the ball over. There's O'Connor. There's Rhys Hones. In comes Milnes. He tries to fire one, goes down, and he may have hurt himself there, Ben Milnes. Not quite sure. It's holding his ankle, but it's still kept him with possession. Roturner puts the low ball in towards Honus. Might turn, shoot, but he's blocked and the ball is away, but only to Meikle. Meikle now, he tries a long ranger, and it's a low dive there by James Wren, right on his line, smothering the ball, and danger averted. But another good pop from Lyndon Meikle.
Yeah, it's Kettering actually running most of the play now. I wouldn't say that Stourbridge have given up, but their intensity of their play has certainly dropped in the last few minutes, but they're coming forward here on the left hand side, but a comfortable catch for Paul White, who bowls the ball out to Lyndon Meikle. Kettering crossing the halfway line with Milnes. His touch is a little heavy that time though, and Missone brings the ball the other way for Stourbridge to Anderson. Anderson having a run at the Kettering defence. Towers gets a foot in, and Luke Graham plays it out to Meikle, who plays it forward for Rhys Hones to have another chase, but that will run all the way through to the Stourbridge keeper, James Wren. Out to Missone on the far hand side. Christopherson on the left, crossing in front of the burger van, and Greg Mills now cuts inside with a shot, and Paul White comfortably gathers at the near post. Bowls the ball out to Declan Towers, passes it to Milnes, who helps it forward for Rhys Hones. Good ball that, and right on the far hand side, cross comes in, cut out by Missone. Broadhurst heads it back to Brown, who launches the ball forward. Flick from Benbow, that one doesn't come off though, and it's ended up at the feet of Ben Toseland, who's looking to get forward still. Ball inside to Ben Milnes. Kelly Evans plays it to Rhys Hones, who's on the right wing at the moment. Tries to get a cross in, it's blocked. The ball comes back to his feet and switches it inside to Milnes. Milnes trying to find O'Connor, good ball, but Aaron O'Connor just offside again. Up goes the flag, and Stourbridge looking to get on with the game again quickly. Played forward from Anderson to Milnes, trying to release Anderson forward, but the ball is intercepted, and it's Richens' turn to play the ball forward to Rhys Hones, looking to keep it in, but the ball just skips away on the surface, and it's a Stourbridge goal kick. Man of the match, Ben Milnes, and coincidentally that would have been my choice as well today. I think all three centre halves have played well for Kettering. Paul White's done well as well with his decision making today, but yeah, Ben Milnes doesn't very often get to play the full 90 minutes nowadays. Seems to be one of the subs that always comes off, but he stayed on today and certainly instrumental in Kettering's second goal, and has put a very good decent shift in the midfield area today for Kettering Town. So well done to Ben. It's James Wren that launches another goal kick forward across the halfway line. Kelly Evans rises, heads the ball out of play for a Stourbridge throw near the halfway line. Thrown forward, looking for Christopherson, who plays the ball back to Brown. Intercepted by Declan Thomas, and the ball pumped forward again, but that will aimlessly go out for a Kettering throw halfway inside their half on the near side. Ben Tosland will wander over slowly, picks the ball up, in no hurry of course to take the throw in, but he now throws it forward looking for Richards, who gets the flick on towards O'Connor, but Hayden picks the ball up for Stourbridge. Good little bit of skill from Broadhurst, nudged off the ball by Michael Richards, and he's going to get a talking to by the referee. Oh, and that's rather harsh. I know he gave a foul away in a similar area about 5 minutes ago, but there wasn't anything in that one either. And to pick up a yellow card for 2 fouls like that is a very harsh decision. But Michael Richards does go into the book, and Bembo will have a free kick halfway inside the Kettering half. And the tall Stourbridge players will look to get on the end of this cross when it comes. He's just referee just making sure that Ben Milnes is back 10 yards. And it's all about the referee at the moment as we wait for the free kick. Here it comes from Bembo. I think that's overhit. And it is indeed. It will go out for a Kettering Town goal kick. And the rain continues to fall here at Latimer Park. And look, it's fair to say the wind has dropped a little bit this second half, but it's certainly been a dank and miserable day. But at least for a Kettering Town fan, we're looking at progressing now to the next round of the FA Trophy, and we'll be picking up £3,250, I believe, for today's efforts, providing that Kettering Town can see out this last minute or so in this game. The ball is deep inside Stourbridge's half, where they have a throw-in. And we're just waiting for the board to go up for the extra time to be played. The throw-in comes in. Broadhurst heads the ball down to the left centre-back. Brown, who clears the ball forward to Bembo. Bembo does well. Plays it into the midfield area, but Ben Tosland gets his head to it. Hayden pumps the ball forward. Luke Graham is on the end of that to Roturner, who clears. And the substitutes for Stourbridge, Birch, picks the ball up, looking to pick a pass. Finds the other substitute, Steele, who then fouls Ben Tosland. And that's a Kettering Town free kick. 4 minutes we have extra now to play. The board has gone up. 4 minutes for Kettering Town to see out the rest of this afternoon. They have a free kick well inside their own half, which Paul White will look to launch forward. And there it goes, headed away, but Lyndon Meikle on the ball. Broadhurst does well, but Ben Milnes, snapping at his heels, does very well, picks up the ball, tries a shot from long range, and goes about 4 yards to the right hand side of the Stourbridge goal. for a goal kick. James Wren in a hurry, as you would expect, to get the ball back in play. Launches the ball forward to the midfield area. Breaks to Linda Meikle though for Kettering. Meikle inside to Toseland, and Hayden intercepts the ball, puts the ball out for a Kettering throw, taken by Toseland to Meikle, and looking for Aaron O'Connor, who is offside, and the ball is cleared quickly to the halfway line where Greg Mills is on the run, powering down the left hand side, gets his cross in towards Anderson at the front post, gets his head to it, but well wide and well high, and it's a Kettering Town goal kick. Full White taking his time again, as you would expect. Waiting for the players to gather in the centre area, and then launches the ball forward towards Michael Richards. It's Richards looking to play in Rhys Honus central. Honus holding up the ball, tries to find O'Connor, but Missone did well there. Intercepted the pass, brings the ball out to Steele, plays a 1-2 with Steele. Missone still going, but Roe Turner intercepts, and the referee's had enough. And Kettering Town have beaten Stourbridge by 2-0. Flick header for the second goal from Rhys Honus. It's a wonderful effort in the first half from Ben Toseland, and Kettering Town will progress through to the next round of the FA Trophy. Final score at Latimer Park: Kettering Town 2, Stourbridge 0.
Especially in that second half, Kettering Town 2, Stourbridge 0. The first goal coming in the first half, a rocket from Ben Toseland, and then a great and an unusual headed goal from Rhys Honus in the second half to wrap things up. Yeah,
a good overall performance. We did speak at half time as to see how well Kettering would do in the second half. I think they did very well actually. Stourbridge were reduced to very little actually in the second half, so it'll be interesting to, as I say, see how the Stourbridge side perform, maybe in better conditions, but against a good Kettering Town side. But you know, I don't think that there can be any real complaints about today's performance from anyone in a Kettering Town persuasion.
No, we did say that at half time that the weather would be an important factor, especially the wind in this game, and Kettering did use it to their advantage. Played a few pop shots, didn't they? Especially from Toseland, and one from O'Connor. There was a couple of shots that just veered away, which really the away side, Stourbridge, didn't do in that first half when they had the wind in their advantage. We saw this also at St Neots, when St Neots had the wind in their favour. They didn't pepper Paul White with shots, and I've always thought that when you got the wind with you, let fly, rip.
You might as well, because you know, even if you don't think you're going to get the connection you want, it may still turn out to be with the wind. You know, if you hit something that normally would probably be a daisy cutter, but you actually get a gust of wind that gets underneath it, it can take it. And you know, Kettering used that to advantage second half. And as you say, Stourbridge probably should have done a little bit more of that in the first half, because you know, Paul White could have been in all sorts of trouble if he'd had shots from 25 yards peppering his goal, coming at quicker than he's used to.
It was a good little spell from Aaron O'Connor. He did put the ball in the back of the net, but that one was ruled offside. Another good move, though, from Kettering. Nice to get him some more minutes. And also Andre Bourg got a start, which is good. There were 4 changes made to this side, the side that played older shots. And the only person really missing was Darrell Berry, who's been arrested. But overall, it's my first look at Stourbridge. As you said, they look a decent side. And the form guy says that also they've only lost one game in the league, 6-4 to Colville Town earlier in the season, obviously. And last week in the FA Cup, they lost 3-1 at Guiseley. But it's a strong, powerful side, isn't it? And Luke Benbow seems to be the driving force behind their side. Yeah,
he was a constant danger man, and arguably should have scored in the first half, but Paul White did well. But he's going to be one to watch. I guess it does have its perks playing Stourbridge this close to when we play them again, because it does mean that a lot of the conditions are going to be exactly the same in the sense that it's going to be at home. They're going to play probably, you'd think, a similar team. So it's almost like a friendly, a warm-up match for the league match. So, it will be interesting. But well, let's not take away. Kettering are in the next round of the FA Trophy. So that's what everyone wanted by the end of today.
Yeah, and that will be drawn, I believe, on Monday. We will bring you details of that on all of our official channels when that draw is made. But Kettering progressed to the FA Trophy second qualifying round, which is more money in the coffers for everybody, which is great. And also, I know that you say the fans and that, and I agree, the fans like the FA Trophy and would like a decent run. But it does beg the question, which I want to ask one of the managerial team when they come in, the fixture pile-up. It does mean that the game on Saturday, the 10th of November against Colville Town now will not go ahead. We'll either have a home or away fixture in the FA Trophy. And it looks like at the moment we're only going to have a couple of fixtures in November in the league.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting end to the season if we continue to do well in these cup competitions. But I don't think the management team will worry too much. You can't be unhappy with success, regardless of how it comes. But we saw in that season when we had the 2012-13 one, was it, where we had all those postponed fixtures here in the league. And actually, if you have a lot of games close to each other, but you're on a good run with a bit of momentum, actually the momentum might be enough to carry you through a tiresome Tuesday night game away, which has been rescheduled. If you're playing well, sometimes you don't have to. I don't want to say not put in the effort, but sometimes the football actually just takes care of itself. You're doing things more naturally. You're not thinking about it so much, so you don't expend as much energy to get the game. The momentum helps you, gives you that little boost that you might not have had if it had been that Saturday fixture 3 months ago. So if you get on a good run with these close fixtures, you can actually pick up some decent points.
Slough last season being the perfect example, who did well in the FA Cup and FA Trophy, and beat us to go ahead and beat Kingsley in the final of the playoffs. And they were quite a few games behind at one point, and looked at one point finishing in 5th place, I think it was, that they would not get into the playoffs, but they did, and the rest is of course history. As Ed said, we had those 2 seasons where we had all those home games to play because of the pitch, and we won most of those, but to avail did not get the rewards at the end. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. A game now will be Needham Market next Saturday, which is the important one. As I say, we hope to get one of the managerial team and players in to talk about today's game and all other things in question. It is quite a small squad, as we said with Peter Short in pre-match. It would be interesting to see if there are going to be any more players added to that squad.
Well, yeah, it will do, and we will see at some point to see whether Marcus will add to the team, and I'm sure you'll ask him when he comes in, roughly, where he's looking at, what sort of positions he's looking to strengthen. But it is a small team. I mean, you look at the actual squad list, and you've got a lot of youngsters out on loan. You've got a few injuries in there as well. And once you take out, like I say, the loanees, the injuries and the sort of fringe players, you're really not left with a lot of players in there at all. But if it's working, it's working, and we can't be unhappy with success no matter how it comes.
No, it's been so far a good season for Marcus Law and his Poppy side, and for those fans out there that are craving for success in some competition, albeit if it's the League Cup, the FA Trophy, or mostly dominantly the League is the one that we all want to get back up that pyramid and put ourselves in the front window again of non-league football. But some people, of course, have never seen that. The new fans that have joined the Poppies since we've been at Latham Park have never seen Kettering in the Conference or Conference North. So it'd be great for those people to experience what life is like at a higher level, and it is quite different. And we got a little taster of that last week at Aldershot, and it was a good afternoon, as we said, other than the result. That's all history now, of course. It goes down into the annals of history, and we shall see how that pans out later. Well, as I say, Ed and I will be at Newmarket next week, Needham Market next week, and then on Tuesday we're here against Kings Lynn in the League Cup. Kings Lynn, of course, changed manager since we played them in the league, where we won that one 1-0, or I think it was 1-0, 2-1. 2-1, was it? 1-0 the season before. They've changed manager, and their fortunes have been improving since.
They're doing okay, aren't they, at the moment? And they've had some good results. I believe they won today in the FA Trophy. I could double check it, but I'm sure they were winning at one point. But they won't be easy games either. I mean, I know it's a competition that would be nice to win next Tuesday, but I don't think a lot of fans will be overly disappointed were we to be knocked out of that one. I think, as everyone has said, the league has to be the priority. It's the bread and butter, and anything else is a bonus. It may very well be that we just look at the league, and then the next couple of seasons, if we do go up, we can maybe just look to consolidate places in the league and then push for FA Cup and FA Trophy runs. But the main focus this season has to be promotion.
You look at Hereford, who won the league convincingly last season, and they are languishing down the bottom of that Vanarama North League, having taken this league by storm, the Premier League by storm last season. But they didn't waste too long in getting rid of Peter Beadle, of course, the manager, which was quite a shock. He's taking them up all those divisions, and they thought through their infinite wisdom that a change management would be better. It was a strange one, that one.
I don't like that one, considering the success he's had. To have a below par start to a season, it seems to me it's knee jerk, isn't it? Really, they've not remembered the fact that he's taken them up 3 or 4 divisions in the space of 3 or 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden, just now they've actually come up against some actual resistance. They've sacked him. It doesn't feel fair, but it's not. It's a different team, and if that's what their board feel is best, and that's what they have to do. But it's a shame for him. But it's a massive step up from this league to the one higher, and I think Hereford are finding that out to the cost of their ex-manager.
Well, that's all about Hereford at the moment. We do have one of the combatants in the studio at the moment, and he scored that wonderful goal on 15 minutes, an absolute humdinger. You'll be able to see that on our highlights package later. It was scored on 15 minutes by none other than Ben Toasden. Welcome, Ben, once again to Poppies TV. Wonderful goal, took it really well, and must have been great to get on the score sheet. First of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a relief, actually. I was just looking forward to playing, getting out there, getting some more minutes in. And I just strike the ball and just moved, and keeper didn't do anything about it. He was flapping at it, I don't know. Could have caught it probably, but yeah.
The finish actually was very similar to the one at Farnborough, without the mazy run through all the players. You struck it in the same sort of way, didn't you? Top right hand corner, and in it looped.
Oh yeah, you just strike it and hope for the best, don't you?
You do indeed. It's been a bit frustrating for you this season so far. You've been in and out of the team. It's not probably gone the way that you've planned things.
Yeah, well, I mean, got to give credit to the players that have been in the team. They've performed very well, and it's hard to get in a team that's performing, obviously. You just got to wait and keep training hard, graft in, do what you got to do, and wait for your opportunity, and you got to take the opportunity. So
it seems to be a very strong body of players. The characters this season seem to be very united, more homely, and they seem to be very well united.
Yeah, definitely. We're a good bunch this year. We're right, good group. We train very well, 2 nights a week most weeks, and yeah, we just all get on. There's no bad word or anything like that. So it's really good.
Going back to today's game, how difficult was it out there with that wind and that biting sleet, snow, rain, thunderstorms?
Yeah, well, we weren't expecting it first, but it come on in the warm-up and it was absolutely freezing. We were shivering, but once you get going out there, you warm up a bit and kind of forget about it.
4 changes made to the side against Aldershot, yourself included, of course, making a start there. We had Andrea Borg starting and Luke Graham and Edmund Hotter all putting decent performances.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. They were all good. Edmund was on a yellow, obviously, so they had to be careful with him. He had a swollen eye as well on his cheek, so...
Was the elbow?
Swollen, yeah, I think he got an elbow, and... I mean, the boys, when we get our chance, we've got to step up, we've got to wear the shirt, and we've got to take it, so I think they've all done very well today to get a win out there.
Good side, weren't they, though, Stourbridge? We're going to meet them again in November the 20th, all being well, on a Tuesday night. That'll be a league match, which is probably more important than the FA Trophy.
Well, yeah, they're a good team, very physical. I think they had a few players missing today, but
3, I think.
3, yeah. But I mean, we can take anyone on in this league. I think we're very good this year.
Luke Bambo in particular was a thorn in the side, the number 9. He's tended to play rather well, didn't he? Got interesting little flicks and little moves, but we counteracted him quite well.
Yeah, he was one touch round the corners, setting, and he was spinning everywhere. Strong as well, and he was good in the air. So, but I mean, Luke, Deck, and Snoop, they dealt with him very well, and the other 2 lads that were up top with him. So
you mentioned Snoop there. We did breach this subject a little while ago on Poppy's TV. Snoop being Roe Turner, of course.
Oh yeah.
How did that all happen then? How did you get the name Snoop?
Well, he's just come in and he said his nickname's Snoop, so call him Snoop. Probably after Snoop Dogg, doesn't it? He looks a bit like Snoop Dogg.
Does he?
A little bit, yeah.
Getting some strange looks there from Ed Palmer, who's in the back of the studio there, shaking his head. No, he doesn't.
No, I don't know where it's come from, to be fair. But yeah, Nathaniel. It's a long name.
It is, isn't it? But there we have it. Well, the next round is going to be drawn on Monday. Would you want a home draw, or would you want
it'd be
travel?
lovely. Lovely. Have a home draw, wouldn't it?
Needham Market next week in the league. Going to be a tough game. We need to win the league games. In fact, we might not get a home game here until probably November the 20th.
Really?
So with the way, Colville game now has been switched because of the FA Trophy. That's the next round, so that game has gone. So it does put a pile up of fixtures in the league, doesn't it? Is that going to be a pressure for us?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. I just mean it's these type of games. The trophies are the good ones for the players that aren't getting enough minutes, and they can play in that and express themselves. I mean, the league games, we'll take care of that ourselves, kind of thing. I think we'll be fine there. But yeah, we're very fit, so I don't see why we couldn't go on with it. So.
Okay then, Ben. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Fantastic goal. You'll see that on the highlights. I know.
Goal of the month.
I know the pair could be a contender for sure. That it's only won this month, isn't it? So it's certainly going to be a contender. That is for sure, and you will see that on our highlights package. Great strike from Ben that set the stall this afternoon in very, very difficult conditions indeed. Go back and enjoy it and have a nice warm cup of cocoa or something in the bar. I know we will when this is over. But well done, Ben.
Cheers.
We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Ben Toseland then, who scored that fantastic goal on 15 minutes, and what a goal it was. Hopefully we're going to get one of the managerial team to come in. Nothing happening just yet. But listen to Ben there. He's going to say he needs to take his chances when he gets into the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he can't really. I mean, he's taken his chance today, and he had another good shot that was saved in the second half as well. No, I like Ben, and I think his work rate is right. That's the main thing. You can have all the ability in the world, but if your work rate isn't there, then you're just not going to get anywhere. And I know Kettering have had that problem with a few players in the past. You know, technically very good footballers, but just haven't looked interested in playing. And you know, I think Ben is one of the ones who will keep fighting for the place. And you know, fans will react to that more than the technical ability. You know, if you could sign, you know, one of the best players in the world, but if they don't want to play for the shirt, then you're not going to get the backing of the fans. And I think Ben Toseland is well liked by the fans because he does tend to give 100% either way. And you know, he makes a few mistakes here and there, but you've got to remember he's still only 21, 22.
I was going to say this. It's a very young Kettering team. Take out 3 players: Solkin, O'Connor, and Luke Graham, and the rest of the side really is quite a young side.
Yeah,
you're looking at 23 probably being the most, or 26 at the latest being the average age of a Kettering Town team. And Marcus Kelly maybe comes in the fringe of things on the 30ish sort of level, but with the ones that aren't here as well, it's a very young team, isn't it? And people seem to think that we're not bringing in young players into the team. It is a young team.
We don't need to. No. It's difficult to bring in players in any younger than what we've got at the moment.
We're
bringing in teenagers, I think. Wasn't it?
Yeah, the embryo coming on for half time.
But yeah, no, I think this season, and not to say there was any issues last season, but this season it's almost like we've got the balance right between experience and youth. We've got, heavy on the youth side, which will give us the energy and the willingness, but then you've got, like you say, those 3 or 4 experienced players who have been around and been there and done it, to just keep their feet on the ground a little bit and give a helping hand as and when they can. And I think that's a really, really good balance that we've got.
Okay, more from Ed in a few moments. We've got a rather cold Marcus Law that's come over from the other side. He's limbering up as we come in. It's going to be another win, Marcus. Welcome once again. You look rather cool.
Cold, freezing, yeah.
Well, 2-0 against a Stourbridge side that we're going to face in the league in a few weeks' time at home, all being ready. You said to me a little while ago that the draw isn't one you particularly wanted because it gave them a look at us and a look at our facilities.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a spar. Detected a sense of relaxedness from both sides and both groups, to be fair. So it felt like a take it or leave it kind of scenario. I think that was for both. I think it'll be totally different couple of weeks' time at our place. Tuesday night though. So yeah, it's we just got to look after ourselves. We've put out there, we've had a look at 1 or 2 things, and we're really, really solid. They popped the ball around in a few times around the final third. Didn't really threaten as much as I thought they would. And when the opportunities presented, we took them.
4 changes you made from Aldershot, and all 4 actually did make an impact, didn't they?
Yeah, annoyingly, yeah. No, in all fact, that's what you want. You want a league-winning side. You want to do well in cups, and it's just it just puts pressure on the players who come in and make sure that they do their job and they do their bits. You look at my bench today, you look at who weren't involved, I think quite comfortably we'd say they would all be starting. So the fact that the people who come in today and put in a massive solid performance and wave their flag, makes training even more competitive.
Being involved in all these competitions, which we're still involved in, 2 cup competitions, just put a bit of a strain on the league. We lose the Colville Town fixture now at home for an FA Trophy. We're away at Royston, who are going to be up there, and then maybe even the Russell Olympic game may be cancelled as well away. The league format, I was saying to Ben Tosden, how will that affect the players?
I don't think it overly affects the players because they just want to get through the week. They just want to get playing games. They wouldn't be thinking in terms of how the board and how the management will be thinking in terms of, okay, that's now a home game we've lost. If we're drawn away, that means costs come our way to go travel. Then that league game gets put into midweek. Would there be as many fans coming to a midweek game as a Saturday? Though, oddly enough, I found last year our midweek at home was strongly supported. So, but it's, when you're looking at the opposition in terms of their travelling fans, so it does have other effects. We're already 2 games behind the rest of the league.
Still top.
Yes, still top. So now we're 3 games. There's going to be probably half, if not more, will be playing on that Tuesday, and it then makes possibly the midweek games that we have more cup final kind of scenario. Put a bit more pressure on the game. Admittedly, keep winning the games, the pressure would be eased, and you got to win all them games to win any league. But you're just on about managing the side, getting your best team out at the right time, and.
Do you see any player movement then in or out to combat with the fixtures that we're having to play against?
Well, we've always been on the lookout to boost the squad, and like I mentioned, it's very, very difficult to add because of the quality we've got. It's it is a strain in terms of keeping all this quality together. But we're working extremely hard behind the scenes to make it happen. Obviously, winning a cup fixture like today certainly helps. And winning games obviously boosts confidence. It keeps everyone in good spirits. And the dressing rooms is very, very good at the moment. So again, that then puts, you've got to bring the right person in at the right time in the right position and make sure that he adds to what we've already got. Yeah. So we're hopeful we may be doing that. But until that right time, that right person, then we'll stick with what we got. I felt Ben, forward wise, proved his worth again. A fantastic goal, reminiscent to the goal, the shot that he had against Nantwich. I felt. Ed, quite a sort of uncomfortable kind of looking player. He puts his foot in. He's sort of there's an awkwardness about him, but he's physically strong, and he ruffled their feathers a fair bit. I think he was very close to the line, but certainly showed worth. Luke, solid as you like at the back with Brett, and it gives you a lot of confidence. You can do that, but it's keeping them all happy and keeping it all, keeping the club happy in terms of accommodating all these players as well. So I suppose winning games keep people in the right mind. But yeah, it's a good place to be at the moment. Even like we're bouncing back from a loss last week, from a very, very professional performance, and I'm just glad that we came out with a very professional, concentrated performance. We look really solid at the back, and when Paul's brought into question, he's there. So we'll work hard again this week. We've got a big journey going to Needham Market.
Kings Lynn in the
Kings Lynn Cup, and we'll probably do very similar to today, and then obviously the trophy the following week. So
it's still cup football, isn't it?
It's
really?
Still well, we got to take it. We're not arrogant enough and where we pick and choose things, but it's just nice seeing Azza out there. Everyone could see a different dimension.
Adds to the game, doesn't it? It's a different sort of approach for you.
You look at like the subs that I made today. We're bringing on Michael Rickens, the captain, who then all of a sudden started winning everything aerially and enforcing the midfield. And last 20 minutes, Lyndon really like popping up the way he does. Aaron questioning centre halves all the time, that releases Reece a bit more. There's 3 fantastic subs. Ben Milnes, who's under a lot of competition. You look at Ben, Marcus, and Lyndon, all very similar in them kind of movements, and then you've got Azza and Reece and Andre fighting up top. So competition's there. Different kind of strengths other than the 3 midfielders I mentioned. And then you've got the experience of Brett and Luke coming in. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
We're going to need all those attributes coming into the next few games. We've got Kings Lynn, who've changed managers, of course. It'll be a different Kings Lynn side to the one that we faced beginning of the season. It's always a battle there, isn't it, as well? I know it's the League Cup, but obviously you'll try and devour them like we normally do.
I think the League Cup is the opportunity to keep players who are a little bit frustrated or need minutes to get them in. League Cup games can become very useful later on in the year when, shall we say, yellow cards and suspensions are kicking in. Because with that being a midweek game, if a player's got a 3-game ban, that's 1 week. If you've got no midweek games, that's 3 weeks. So, for instance, like Dion, we lost him for 3 weeks, where last season at this time of the year it would have been a week. So they're little things that probably only management and the board look at. So yeah, I think that's now Biggleswade, Colville, and Redditch are now 3 midweek games. Here, they're all here as well. Yeah. So again,
we're live as well.
We're losing home games on a Saturday. So yeah, hopefully the run and the performance will make sure everyone's turning up midweek for us.
Okay, Marcus, thank you very much. Best of luck this week at Needham. Let's get a nice draw on Monday.
Home. Let's have a home fixture.
Marcus wants a home fixture, as we all do. Marcus Law then victorious in the FA Trophy. 2-0 win over Stourbridge. Going to bring Ed Palmer just back for the last few moments. Ed, you've listened to Marcus, who's put his hat the wrong way around, I think.
Was that the first FA Trophy game I've won here? I can't remember. I know I lost to...
Not sure, actually.
First season, I know we lost to...
Lost to Gresley. Oh no, Gresley was... Gresley. Did lose to Gresley, didn't we?
We lost the northern team, Green, not Nantwich, it was...
Bamber Bridge?
Bamber Bridge. Is this live?
Yeah, it is, yeah. we can stop it though.
Last year was Leek.
Bamber Bridge.
Witten Albion, yeah, last year.
Bamber Bridge.
Just having a bit of...
Bamber Bridge was FA Cup. Come on, Statos!
Well, live, it's difficult.
First year was...
Market Drayton.
First game. No, not Market Drayton. But Brian Page, first game it was, we lost 3-0. Someone like Marine, but not Marine. First go, year 1. Year 2, can't remember. Year 3's Leak. So who was it 2 years ago? I'll leave that with you.
Okay. Well, just a bit of off chat there if you're listening to that between Marcus and the media team. Don't often hear that on here. If it was live, we would never have done that visually, but there we go. Ed, just to finish off, Marcus, very truthful about what he says, and he always gives a good interview, very down to earth about his team, and summed it up rather well.
Yeah, I think you've got to be really as a manager. You can't elaborate on things if you don't say exactly what you saw, then you're never going to progress anywhere. And I think there's a lot of things that Marcus will be happy with today. I say some of the touchline there's things he might not have been 100% pleased with, but we'll get forward, and it's like you say, another cup run that's begun now, and we'll see where we are come Monday with terms of who we get.
Well, there we are then. Come Monday is the draw for the FA Trophy. It's all from myself and the media team, Ed Palmer and Richard Atkinson, Peter Short, Ryan Griffin and Gary Foreman. Ed and I will be at Needham Market next week. Tune in please on the YouTube channel. We will broadcast next week, and it's good night from me and...
Good night from me.